As always. All right. Welcome, everyone. It's Monday morning, Thanksgiving week. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, and it is November 25th. That's right. Indeed, it is 2019. Oh, man, Thanksgiving week. We, of course, will be off on Thanksgiving. But aren't you all off on Thanksgiving? We'll have a great best of. Don't you worry. Oh, man. Oh, boy. I tell you, so much going on. So much to talk about today. And CNN's lost it. I mean, what's happened with the mainstream media is they've been going after Trump so hard, well, since he came down the escalator, but really since he won the election, and everything's failed. And the media and the establishment are having a very difficult time accepting the fact that they are out of power and have lost touch with the pulse of the American people. And on top of that, the mainstream media are having an incredibly difficult time accepting the fact that they cannot influence people any longer. In the old days, the media influenced everything, and they cannot influence the American people any longer, and they've lost it. And over the weekend on CNN, I'll play this coming up later on, they actually were suggesting that President Trump is using some sort of mind control over those of us who support him. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up. It's completely insane. And but that's CNN people. I mean, this is CNN. They talked about this. They even had an expert on to discuss it. So we'll get to all of this stuff as the show goes on. It is Monday. It is Thanksgiving week. And just last night, little self-promotion, then we'll get into the meat of the program. But just last night, I uploaded on all of my social media pages, Steve's social media pages, and SteveKaneShow.com, as well as my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube, a video from the Steve Kane cruise. I was walking around with my video camera all over the place on the Steve Kane cruise, and a few people asked me, what are you always walking around with that GoPro? And if you go to SteveKaneShow.com or my YouTube channel, you can watch the video. Watch the whole video. It is very good. My wife edited this video yesterday together, and it is very, very good. And, of course, those of you who went with us on the Steve Kane cruise, you'll see some good times and some good memories come out of it. And those that have not gone on a Steve Kane cruise, you will really see what we do on these cruises. And I think you will be very surprised at how much of a good time we have. Okay, so go check it out on my YouTube channel, any of our social media pages, or SteveKaneShow.com, my cruise video. And again, watch the whole thing, please. It's not that long. It's like 12, 13 minutes or something. And you put 6 days into 12 minutes, and I think you'll really get a kick out of it. So I'd love to you guys to go and watch it and give me some feedback, whether it's a comment on the video itself on YouTube, or an email, or a message on social media, or call me on the air. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that video. And the cruise, it is a good time, and you guys missed out. But that's okay. We've got one next year where we'll be talking about more next December on the Celebrity Edge. Oh, man, I only drank the first day and the last day. The in-between days, the only thing I drank was Avion water. Oh, boy. Okay, so much going on, so much to talk about. And so the media not accepting the fact that they're no longer influencers. They used to influence. They used to have an impact. And they don't any longer, and they cannot deal with it. They can't deal with it. And that's why they're beginning to lose their mind. So over the weekend, CNN, Brian Stelter in particular, had a couple of things going on that are completely insane. He had a guest on talking about the cult of Trump, Trump possibly using mind control, and this very fake news reporting on the health of the president, because the president took an unscheduled trip, so they say, to Walter Reed. And of course, this could only mean terrible things, even though he was there just a couple of hours. And that included greeting people, servicemen and women who were there and meeting the staff. And I believe that the president went in for that unscheduled exam at Walter Reed because he is so busy working, as opposed to our past presidents. He's so busy working, he just went in for his physical when he could fit it in. And so I'm going to play you a couple of clips coming up of CNN talking about the mind control that President Trump is using on us. And, if we are under some sort of mind control, we wouldn't know it, right? Because our minds are being controlled. So maybe we are, and I just can't pick up on it. And I'll also play this some clips from this segment of total fake news on CNN talking about the president's health condition. So we'll get into all this on the show today. It's really pathetic. I did hear Schiff on CNN yesterday. I did watch his interview. I am not playing any sound bites from Adam Schiff. And the reason I'm not playing any sound bites from Adam Schiff is I cannot stand listening to him talk. I just can't stand listening to him talk. I'm sorry. And I'm not going to play sound bites. It's bad enough I had to listen to the interview. Now, of course, he was on the Clinton News Network, CNN, during this interview. But they asked some good questions. It was Jake Tapper. And Tapper was talking to Adam Schiff about him being called to testify in a Senate hearing. And he didn't say that he wouldn't do it because I don't know if he really has. Even a member of Congress has to show up if they're subpoenaed, I believe. I don't know. We'll find out. We're going to test that, aren't we? And they are different. They are different houses, so he's got no authority over there. But Adam Schiff, I don't know why anybody would want to talk to me. I have nothing to add. All I have is observed and listened to the witnesses. No, he's got a lot to add, Adam Schiff. And under oath, he's got a lot to add to anything that goes on in the Senate. Namely, I think is what contact he had with the whistleblower. Does he know who the whistleblower is? What contact did his staff have with the whistleblower? All of these things. And also, what about all this evidence he had about Russian collusion between the president and with Russia, with all this collusion going on? There's a lot of things to talk to Adam Schiff about, and I think it is a spectacular idea for Lindsey Graham or someone else in the Senate to have a hearing and call Adam Schiff to testify, get him under oath. And you know what? If he refuses, let's play that out too. Let's see. Yeah, he is very good at lying because he has no conscience. He doesn't mind lying. But it's one thing to lie when you're a chair of a committee. It's another thing to lie when you're on a television interview, as opposed to when you're under oath, under penalty of perjury, especially after Roger Stone is going to jail for lying to Congress. So if we could lying in Congress is not against the law. That's why politicians lie so much that are in Congress. But lying under oath in a hearing in Congress, that's a whole nother ballgame. Roger Stone, great case example of that. So calling Adam Schiff to testify, getting him under oath, I think would be spectacular. And it really would be a test of, does he know he's lying? Is he completely insane? I think the fact that he wouldn't say that he would not testify shows that he's aware that he's been fibbing quite a bit, and he does not want to be under oath, and he's playing this out. We'll see what happens, okay? But impeachment's over. It's over. I was talking last week on the show, and I made the prediction. Was it Friday? I think it was Friday. I made the prediction that President Trump will not be impeached in the House of Representatives. I do not think they have the votes, and this pre-hearing to decide if there's going to be a hearing fizzled out so much. You take this to the next level, to the Judiciary Committee, and you're going to find some different standards applied, both by members of Congress and the media and the public. Okay? And when it comes down to it, to go to take a vote, to even go to the House to vote, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the impeachment vote is going to make it to the floor. There's all kinds of talk of many Democrats who have been behind this in the past, but now they see public opinion turning against impeachment because Schiff's hearings imploded so much that many Democrats are afraid to vote on impeachment either way because they're in a catch-22 and they're afraid they'll lose their seats, which is what all of them care about more than anything is losing their seat or keeping their seat. So I don't believe the president is going to be impeached in the House of Representatives. I don't know or think many people are saying that. I'm saying it. And forget about what they're saying on television interviews, okay? And if you notice, the media are already getting away from impeachment, and this started on Thursday, I believe. And I heard more of it on Friday and more of it over the weekend. There's talk coming from the media, which is, them trying to influence public opinion in the president, which they cannot do, even though they won't accept that they can't influence people any longer. But they're floating this idea of President Trump making a compromise with the Democrats in the House to avoid impeachment, that he'll agree to be censured by the House. Now, why the hell should he agree to anything? They've lost. Their witnesses all cleared him. Okay? And it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. But when they start talking, they're sending out these feelers to see if they can get a censure agreement going with President Trump, because they know they don't have the votes to impeach him. So the House Democrats are trying to save face with this censure move that they're trying to make with Trump. But why should he deal with them? They've got nothing to deal with. He beat them again. Also, some fake news coming out over the weekend on the IG report. We'll talk about that. So much going on. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Again, I just posted last night my video. My wife edited this yesterday, and it's a very good video. It's about 12 minutes long, of the Steve Kane cruise that we just came back on. And go and check this video out. It's on my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube. I posted it to SteveKaneShow.com and all of our social media pages. It's on my Twitter and all our Facebook pages. Steve's Facebook pages, my Facebook pages, and my Twitter. Go check out the video that I made on the Steve Kane cruise. You'll really get a kick out of it. Go watch it right now. And like I say, it's about 12 minutes long, and I'd certainly love to hear your feedback in any way you want to give it on the video. And in particular, those of you who have not gone on a Steve Kane cruise, go and watch this video. You're going to love it, and you're going to be, I think, very surprised at all the fun things that we do. All right, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Suffer with diabetes. Did you know there's a 25% chance that
well, everybody else does.
Foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences, up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the
Westerville, Ohio. That's where my sister lives.
Shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for a Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65 $5. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Seniors, open enrollment is here. I Will Advisors is here to offer you an unbiased comparison of all your Medicare health insurance options. I Will Advisors specialize in educating Medicare beneficiaries on every available
Okay,
option
let's
to
see
ensure you make the right
here.
choice.
Yeah, let me get to the mind control. I'll play the mind control clip. We'll talk about that.
954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Welcome back, one and all, on this Thanksgiving week. And it's chilly outside. And I didn't realize how cold it was this morning. I don't know what the temperature is, but I left without a jacket or anything or long sleeves, went outside, and it was cold. But I'd already locked the doors, turned the alarm off before the cold hit me, so I just came to work cold. But it is Florida. It can't be cold all day, right? It is South Florida. All right, well, so let's get to the... So CNN totally losing their minds. Impeachment fell right out of between their fingers. The Skanky Daniels, Michael Avenatti, they can't win anything. They can't win anything. They just, they're going after this super rock star, squeaky clean Marine who's never even jaywalked in his life, and they don't understand why they can't jam him up with scandals, because he's scandal-free. That's why. So they also, what the media don't understand is, with all of their slanders against President Trump, why do we still support him? Those of us on the Trump train, why do we still support him with all their lies and slanders against our great president? After all, we're the family values crowd. They like to call us with sarcasm, the family values crowd, like it's a bad thing to have family values. And of course, Brian Stelter and CNN's conclusion is that we are in a cult and that President Trump may be using some type of mind control on us. Now, of course, as I said at the top of the hour, if it is true what CNN is saying, that we are under mind control, we wouldn't know it because our minds are being controlled. But let me play this for you. This is pretty interesting stuff. Stelter, CNN yesterday on the cult of Trump and Trump's mind control.
The word cult has been popping up more and more. Think back to 2 weeks ago on this program, Anthony Scaramucci talked about his claim that Trump supporters are in a cult. Just last week, Dan Rather said he thinks support for Trump seems increasingly cultish.
Cult, I hear cult used with all kinds of things, good and bad, but I hear cult used in Hollywood terms a lot for a television show or a movie that has a very small but loyal fan base. They say it has a cult following. Like Star Trek used to have a cult following when it was lowly rated, but strong supporters like me. Trump is just the opposite of a cult. The definition of a cult following is a small, loyal group. This president is having a major rally again tomorrow here in South Florida. It will be overflowing crowds as always. So the size of his following, the size of the Trump following doesn't follow what you would use as a cult following. But anyway, back to this. Brian Stelter on the cult of Trump and, of course, mind control.
Cultish. And this weekend in the Washington Post, Trump critic and Republican strategist John Weaver said the GOP is not a party anymore in the traditional sense. It's a cult. None of them are mental health experts. Stephen Hassan is. He's out with a brand new book called The Cult of Trump. He has firsthand experience escaping the Unification Church back in the 70s, and he's decided to write this book because he believes there's something seriously wrong with our politics.
Wow. This is so clever of CNN. So they think, because they think all of us are stupid. They think the American people, well, I don't think they believe the American people are, I don't think that's what they focus on. They believe their viewers are stupid that watch CNN. CNN doesn't want to actually say we're in a cult or he's using. So what they do is they bring someone on who's an expert in quotation marks, who's a complete lunatic, as you'll find in a moment, to say what they don't want to say, which is that we're, fanatical cult followers.
So I define a destructive cult as an authoritarian.
Now, see, this is an interesting. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I am very sorry. I just belched. I'm drinking all this coffee, and I apologize for belching into the microphone. I do not care for that. And I think that may be only the second or third time I've ever done that in my life. I apologize for that. I wanted to just go back before we get into the meat of this. Listen to what this guy says here. This first word is puzzling to me.
And he's decided to write this.
Listen to this.
There's something seriously wrong with our politics.
So I define a destructive cult.
A destructive cult. This is the expert. A destructive cult. Is there a non-destructive cult? Are there positive cults in the context in which they're speaking? A destructive cult. Can anyone give me an example of a non-destructive cult? I look at Nexium with the branding of the vaginas going on and all this stuff. David Koresh, Jim Jones. That's what I think of. But he says a destructive cult, which implies that there are non-destructive cults which are positive. Does anyone know of any non-destructive cults that are positive? Anyway, back to the CNN expert.
Church back in the 70s. And he's decided to write this book because he believes there's something seriously wrong with our politics.
So I define a destructive cult as an authoritarian pyramid-structured group with someone at the top who claims to have total power and total wisdom, that uses deception and control of behavior, information, thoughts, and emotions to make people loyal and dependent and obedient followers. So for me, the issue of between an ethical, healthy cult where you're free to think and free to leave versus a destructive cult, I'm referring to Trump's organization and followership as a destructive cult where people are being fed propaganda and they're not being encouraged to think for themselves. They're not.
This is an interesting thing. So those of you on the Trump train, do you feel you are not being allowed to think for yourselves? What this is what they can't understand. They really don't understand this, and they're in a denial phase of the grief of losing the election. Still, what stage of grief is denial? It's one of the early stages, isn't it? Isn't it the first stage of grief? I don't know. They believe that we are not being permitted to be free thinkers as supporters of Trump on CNN. What they don't understand is that we were the silent majority, and that Donald Trump and Melania came down the escalator and said and stood for all the things we dreamed a leader would say and stand for and actually do, as opposed to George W. Bush, who said a lot of the right things but didn't follow through, like involving moving our embassy in Israel, etc., talking about these things. They cannot believe nor accept at CNN that millions of Americans support the opinions and actions of President Trump. So they explain it by saying we're not allowed to think differently than him. It goes on here. CNN.
For themselves. They're not being encouraged to really explore and look at the details and arrive at their own conclusion. Much of what they're hearing is emotionally driven, loaded words, thought-stopping and thought-terminating type cliches like fake news or build the wall or make America great again.
You say the president is using mind control, but how's that provable?
So we can start with the pathological lying, which is characteristic of destructive cult leaders.
Okay. You say the president is using mind control. Yes, there's a mind control device. It's in the White House, in the basement, I guess, that he's using. I mean, my goodness. This is textbook fake news. This guy's brought on as an expert on the cable news network, which is what CNN stands for. I know we call it the Clinton News Network. It doesn't really stand for Clinton News Network. It's Clinton News Network. Or, I'm sorry, Cable News Network. And they're passing this off as, so you say that the president is actually using mind control. Now, if that's not Trump derangement syndrome, what you have is the media are like the ghost towns of the Old West, right? Or Detroit used to be, Detroit used to be something, and now it's like an abandoned city. And that's what the media are. They used to be somebody. They used to be able to influence people, the mainstream media, and they've lost their ability to influence, and they're in denial about it. So what they're telling themselves is this is a cult leader like David Koresh. We're not allowed to think on our own. And somehow the president has learned the art of mind control from somewhere. And that we're living in an illusion. Oh my goodness. Your thoughts on this are certainly welcome. 1-888-GO-KANE1. That's Kane with a K, K-A-N-E, and the number 1. 888-GO-KANE1. Are we under mind control on the Trump train? Are we in a cult? Are we so controlled by the president through his mind control powers that Brian Stelter and CNN talked about that we don't even know that our minds are being controlled? 1-888-465-2631. 1-888-465-2631. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
People put off the medical care they need for a lot of reasons. My deductible is too high. I
Steve
don't
Kane
have
Show?
insurance. My schedule is too hectic. I just can't
Hold on.
afford it. The time for excuses is
Have you guys
over.
seen
Thanks
the
to
cruise
Clear
video?
Access Now of Plantation, where they guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. PSA, only $34. Full cholesterol lipid panel, $28. Complete thyroid panel, $49. Diabetic A1C test, only $27. No doctor's order or prescription needed. All testing is always anonymous and confidential. In and out in 15 minutes or less.
That's right.
Most results in 24 to 48 hours. Make sure to ask about their allergy testing, which includes micronutrient and environmental allergens, and vitamin deficiency test, drug testing, you name it. Any lab test now at Plantation, probably test for it. Any lab test now at Plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise Boulevard in the Jacaranda Plaza on the corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Give them a call, 954-916-1072. 954-916-1072. Online, labtestingplantation.com. Take control of your health with any lab test now of Plantation. 954-916-1072.
Hi, this is Dr. Mitchell Matez from the Boca Raton Center for Age Management. I've cared for Steve and Brian in an anti-aging capacity for the last decade. However, I want to make sure that everybody understands hormone therapy is not just for men, but is for women also.
That's right.
In fact, we have one of my women patients here with us right now today. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Doc.
Donna, tell us, what are some of the symptoms you had when you first came to see me?
Well, I was going through menopause, and I had night sweats. I wasn't sleeping through the night, hot flashes, mood swings. My skin felt like
What
sandpaper.
happened, Timothy?
I had my hair falling out by the handfuls, and I was tired, run down all the time. I was moody, and the worst thing of all was my sex drive.
And how do you feel today?
I feel amazing. I'm 52, and I feel like I'm 25 again.
And I can tell you've also lost some weight since we first met. How has this affected your weight control
What are you talking
and
about?
Your sex life and other issues of that?
Well, I've lost 50 pounds, and my sex life is better than it's ever been. It's amazing, and I have skin like I'm 25 again. I sleep like a baby.
I don't know what Timothy's
My
talking
hair
about.
is not falling out anymore. I'm happy all the time. There's no more mood swings, and I just feel like a kid again.
As you can see, hormone pellet therapy is great for women also. It reverses your menopause, controls your weight, improves your sex life, and a whole host of other benefits. If you want to get these benefits, call me as soon as you can at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management at 561-953-5490. That's 561-953-5490.
Whose accounts, Timothy?
Or visit us at our website, hormonetherapybocaraton.com.
Seniors, open enrollment is here. I Will Advisors is here to offer you an unbiased comparison of all your Medicare health insurance options. I Will Advisors specialize in educating Medicare beneficiaries on every available option to ensure you make the right choice for your needs. Call us directly at 954-753-8080. 954 888-753-8080. The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable
there it is.
living
Okay.
trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Talking about a lot of things already early on this Monday, Thanksgiving week morning. Let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Sandra. I'm calling from Polk County, Florida.
Hey, what's up, Sandra? All right.
Okay, when I heard that and I watched that report of his brainwashing Trump, if you really listen to everything he says and you go right across all those fake news media, now they're trying to turn the narrative onto us, but actually they are the ones that are brainwashing society through their fake news. This happened in early 1950s and 60s. The government got involved with doing this to people, and they've done it for years. And it's like they're talking robot heads. And I was just like, man, we're brainwashed? Give me a break.
Well, I was talking to my daughter last night. We were watching 90 Day Fiancé. You ever watch that show? It's a great show. And it's a very good show, and it's pretty good. And there was one guy who hooked up with this Russian girl in America. She went back to Russia and says that she's pregnant with his baby, and he went to Russia. And it's a third world pit of hell where they have very few, it looks like, paved roads in the Russias. It's a terrible place. And I was telling my daughter about how, I believe the Cold War was a lie that was sold to us by Hollywood, the government, and the media. And, I believed growing up that Russia was advanced and modern just like we are, a first world country, and that World War III was going to happen. It was just a matter of when. And it was propaganda that was sold to us by the news media that's trying to tell us that Donald Trump is all these things today. And that's pretty powerful. And I think most people in my generation probably grew up with movies like The Day After on television, Threads over there in the UK and all these things, and thinking that Russia was equal to us, a first world, not a third world country, and all of this. And the media, including Hollywood, have completely lost the power to influence us like they did for so many decades into the Cold War. And a more recent example was George Bush's war in Iraq. The media and the government brainwashed us into believing that Saddam had weapons of mass destruction, courtesy of British intelligence who have the fake dossier on Trump. And that was very effective. And we were all on, well, not all, but I was, and many others were behind that because of the brainwashing of the media. And the first example that is given by historians of media brainwashing is, remember the Maine with Hearst and all the newspapers to get us involved in the Spanish-American War. And the media have lost their influence, and they're really losing their minds over it.
You're right on target on that one. But see, I grew up in the 50s, and it's like each decade is like this is one of the worst times of American history you can ever imagine, because if we don't get a hand on what's going on, there won't be any America in the future.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. They don't
even teach American history. They don't teach them nothing.
No.
You have to do it yourself.
Yeah, no, you're right. They don't teach government. They don't teach civics. Kids don't know.
Don't teach that you don't take and go spend everything you earn. I mean, these snowflakes living in their mother's basement. Like, my kids, you want something, you get out there and you work for it.
Yeah, work.
You give me.
I mean, think about this. I cannot tell you, and I mean this, and I ask you all to think about this. I cannot tell you the last time I saw a boy who was 10, 11, or a teenager mowing the lawn in any house in my neighborhood. When's the last time you seen a kid mow the lawn?
Well, I live in the Green Swamp, so we have these little redneck boys out there.
Well, you're in the sticks. I got to tell you, in my neighborhood, all the young boys are inside, gaming. They're gamers. They don't leave the house. I have not seen a preteen or a teenage boy in my neighborhood mow the lawn in front of any house in my neighborhood in year. I may have seen it once, maybe twice, but I think even that's a stretch. We have a different generation now. All right, hey, listen, I appreciate the call. Oh boy, yeah, she's right on the money, isn't she? Yeah, that's what they've done. That's what they do. That's what they do in the land. Yeah, so we're in a cult. We're in a cult. What they don't realize is they're the ones that are in a cult. They're like the Hale-Bop people over there at CNN and MSNBC. And, when you turn on MSNBC in particular, is in a lot of trouble because Andrew Yang is upset at them and is demanding an apology from MSNBC. But these hearings last week, you watch the hearings, you turn on MS-13BC, and it's they got him, we got him, there it is. Wait a minute, Sondland said that, he said no, he wanted nothing, no, yeah, but that means he wanted, right? So if there's a cult going on out there, it's CNN and MSNBC. In fact, they fit the definition of a cult because they are in denial about everything that's going on in our society today, everything. I give an example. Russian interference in the election. That's such a vague term. Well, everybody agrees that the Russians interfered. Maybe, yeah, I don't know, but the Russians did nothing that converted votes from ready for Hillary people to Donald Trump votes. But let's just say there was Russian interference in the election. Okay? The media are the ones that are in collusion with it, and the Democrats. And this is what I mean by that. The Mueller investigation and these endless discussions about Russian interference, and now there's Ukrainian interference, and Trump was colluding. The media are the ones that have been promoting this narrative. The purpose of a foreign government influencing elections, there's two reasons why nations interfere in the elections of other countries. One is if they can get a winner that they want in place. That's one, which of course they don't want Trump. They already had Hillary on the take from uranium one. The Russians would want Hillary. She was already on the take with uranium one, and God only knows what else. And once they got you on one thing, they got you on everything. But the other purpose of interfering in a country's elections is to cause chaos, division, and a questioning of the electoral process in that country. And that's what the media have been doing since Trump won on election night. So if there was Russian interference, that's what it was, to cause division and distrust of our election system. And who's promoting that? The media, the Democrats. So if anyone's colluding with Russian election interference, it's the mainstream media and it's the Democrat Party. That's it. Sorry to tell you. And I don't think I'm the first person to make this observation. I think others have said it. But that's true. Look at the chaos that the media and the questioning of our system, which is the purpose of anything. Now, so far as what a cult following is, when I've heard cult followings outside of Koresh and Jim Jones and Hale-Bop and those type of people, I would hear it for things involving television and movies. When I was younger, I used to go to Rocky Horror Picture Show all the time. If you're in South Florida, for years, I went to Rocky Horror Picture Show at the Cinema and Draft House on 17th Street Causeway in Fort Lauderdale. And I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Is it still a thing, Rocky Horror? But Rocky Horror Picture Show had a cult following. And I would go, and I was, it had a cult following, a small, loyal following, and I knew all the things, right? I knew every line in the movie. There was something you did, and I knew it all, right? I'm not going to say some of the words because, some of the lines because, you can't say them on the radio, but you know what I'm talking about. That's a cult following. I saw David Duchovny of the X-Files on a talk show. It was a long time ago when X-Files was on. And I don't know, it was so long ago, it might have been Arsenio Hall, I don't remember, but I saw David Duchovny was talking about the X-Files, and whichever talk show was interviewing him says, wow, the X-Files has a massive cult following. And David Duchovny laughed, and he says, cult following is what Hollywood uses to describe a television show that should be canceled because it has so few viewers, and that's us, right? We have a cult following, loyal people. You know, and that David Duchovny explanation of what a cult following is accurate with the mainstream media. CNN and MS-13BC. They have a loyal cult following of fanatical radical liberals who are in complete denial about the world around them. Like Hale-Bopp, that the comet's going to come by and grab them and take them off to wherever on the spaceship. You know, and there's a loyal, radical, lunatic, fringe cult following for MSNBC and CNN that when Sondland comes out and says, the president told me, I want nothing, no quid pro quo, I want nothing, they hear, I want everything, I want a quid pro quo. You know, he says what happened, and they hear what they want to hear. So if you want to talk about a cult, it's those who follow the mainstream media. All right, let's take our last break of the first hour. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve KANE Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
Steve KANE, and I'm here with William Youngerman from William Youngerman Inc., trading in, I guess they call it scrap gold. In other words, if people have old jewelry that's been passed on to them, stuff they don't use, what's the best way to handle the scrap jewelry?
There's a lot going on right now in this area because of the attention gold is getting and the higher price that it's at. People advertising, come to parties, all kinds of mail it in to sell your scrap. The only reason to ever sell gold, as far as I'm concerned, is when you have one, either a better place for the money, you're not wearing it, you're not using it, or if you have it in a form such as scrap or pieces of broken chain and everything else that have no easily understandable value attached to them. So what we're recommending people to do is, one, get rid of things that you don't wear and enjoy. Gold is an investment even if you're wearing it on your neck and you're enjoying it. If you're not, then take it and then trade it in. If you don't need the money for something else, trade the gold scrap in for something that's an identifiable, easily recognizable, tradable form of gold, which would be something like a 1 ounce gold bar or a half-ounce gold coin or some equal amount of gold, so that you're not just taking dollars that you're going to spend and waste somewhere, but you're actually converting that scrap gold into something that is easily tradable, and that all you have to do is look at the television or look at the paper to find out the price of gold or listen to our reports, and you know that if you have 2 ounces of gold, it's worth X number of dollars. The next thing is to know that who you're dealing with when you're trading it in. Get a couple of offers on it. Don't just go to these to mail it in and take your chances. You do your homework, you'll get the most for your gold, and then you'll be able to get a form of gold that's easily recognizable and tradable, and it is an insurance policy for you.
A good place to go is William Youngerman Inc. at 150 East Palmetto Park Road.
Well, the X-Files had it wrong. The X-Files said the secret government was FEMA. The secret government are the donors.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Hold on, what am I looking for? What was I looking for?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the rematch of the praise fight of the century. In this corner, the reigning 5-time champ, Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 for SET. And in this corner, challengers from every other manufacturer. The challengers come out swinging, but Toyota of Hollywood delivers a crushing blow by selling Toyotas at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 Camry SE, not $28,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $21,000, $12,775. Buy any new Toyota and we'll make your payments for 12 months. At Toyota of Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
On 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Don't forget, check out my podcast, The Brian Craig Show. Upload a new episode over the weekend. I'm getting close to 900 podcast episodes. It's a show I do separate and apart from the Steve Kane Show, so if you don't listen to my podcast, you're missing out. You're missing out. Now, in the chat room on Facebook Live, Cully says he will be at Friendly Tire in Margate today. Absolute. Great place, Friendly Tire. Great place. Prices out of this world. You hear me talk about the low prices on new tires all the time in the recorded ad. And don't forget, Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire has thousands of used tires in stock as well, starting at just $30 for most sizes. And over at Friendly Tire on new cars, they service all makes and models. I see high-end cars. I see cars that I don't even know how they're on the road, and they have no air conditioning, but they go over there for tires at Friendly Tire. Everyone goes to Friendly Tire that I know because I've been telling people to go there for so long because the prices are so low. So not only should you shop at Friendly Tire, make sure you tell all of your friends about the incredible low prices on new and used tires at Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire listed at stevekaneshow.com. Their number 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And online, friendlytire.net. Yeah, so I said on Friday's show that the president is not going to be impeached in the House of Representatives. It's not going to happen. They don't have the votes. And these hearings that just totally, 2 weeks of clearing the president in each and every hearing, they've lost it. And over the weekend on CNN, they had some girl who's a writer for the Washington Post. And the Washington Post is a paper that's liberal and proud of it. The paper of Woodward and Bernstein, the paper of Watergate, blah, blah, blah. You know the whole story. And listen to what she says. This is a lady writer, young girl writer over at the Washington Post on CNN. And she's talking about impeaching the president in the House of Representatives. Listen to this.
I think what we're starting to see is, when the impeachment inquiry was first announced and they started to do these depositions, a lot of people were asking, can Nancy Pelosi peel off any Republicans? And I think in this final impeachment vote, but I think increasingly the question is becoming, does she lose more Democrats? Because Republicans have really sort of unified behind the president. And although 2 Democrats voted against the impeachment inquiry rules that they voted on a couple weeks ago, we are hearing behind the scenes there are more moderates who are getting cold feet, and it all comes back to these ads and people being afraid of being punished for voting to impeach the president.
Wow. So they're hearing that moderates are not doing... Now, the definition of what a moderate is today is much different than it was even when Obama was president. We have these radical lunatics, the squad, right? That's the left. A moderate in today's Democrat Party is someone that just maybe 4 or 5 years ago would have been considered a liberal. But liberals, old-fashioned liberals, are now moderate in the Democrat Party because AOC plus 3, as the president calls the squad, have taken the party so far to the left. And when I'm watching CNN, Fox, and MSNBC, and I'm hearing, moderates, that what they're doing is they're starting to condition their viewers that it's not going to happen, impeachment. Okay? And the 2 things I've been hearing are this, moderate Democrats, But again, moderate Democrats, there used to be, back when George Bush was president, up until that era, in the early days of Obama, there was a group of Democrats called Blue Dog Democrats. And they were conservative Democrats, some maybe moderate Democrats. And those moderate Democrats, the Blue Dogs, I haven't heard about Blue Dogs Democrats in a long time, but Blue Dog Democrats were considered either conservative or moderate at that time. But now, as crazy as this would sound, if you went through the voting history of Nancy Pelosi, for example, right, prior to Obamacare, but mostly these days, she would be a moderate by today's standards. Right? I mean, they would. How many of these California Democrats used to support border security out in California that are now against it? So, back in the days of the Blue Dogs were a small group, a small coalition of moderate and conservative Democrats. But now, moderate, there's no way to put a number on moderate because they're not so open about it. But I believe most Democrats in the House are moderate by today's standards. You understand? They might be closeted moderates because they don't want the squad after them. But it's not some small coalition like the Blue Dog Democrats of yesteryear. Moderate Democrats are most of the Democrats in the House. And when the Washington Post is on CNN saying, well, I'm hearing rumors, that's preparing the viewers, the readers, and the Democrat activists that see, they're afraid for them to find out one day that it's not going to happen. So they have to slowly condition them so they don't have breakdowns. And also, and by breakdowns, I mean nervous breakdowns. And also make it sound like, well, this was expected, so it doesn't come off as a defeat. Well, it's not a defeat because these moderate Democrats, we wanted to do this, but the moderates wouldn't let us because they're afraid. So they're trying to lay out a narrative where they've actually won on impeachment, but because of some moderate Democrats who are probably really Trump people that are disguised as Democrats, justice could not be done in the House. That's what they're doing. They're conditioning people. So, don't buy into this talk that, well, let's have a trial in the Senate and let's get it out. No. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they'd love that. Yeah, they love Republicans. They would love Trump people. Let's just have the trial and get the facts out. Are you kidding me? That's the dumbest idea. That's stupid. That's just a stupid idea. They don't have it. They're trying to get the president to make a deal to agree to being censured, which if anyone should be censured, it's the House Democrats, and Adam Schiff in particular. And, I'd like to start seeing some of these Congress people talk about if the Republicans take back the House, and I think there's a pretty good chance of that, if the Republicans take back the House of Representatives in this next election, can they censure Adam Schiff for his behavior now? Because I know the Republicans want to have some type of censure of Adam Schiff, but they're not in power, so they can't do it. Because with a new Congress after the 2020 election, can they censure someone for actions in the previous Congress? I don't know. They've got all these weird rules of parliamentary procedure and everything else going on in Congress. No one really knows the rules, and they seem to make them up as they go. Now, I know someone in Congress cannot be censured for activities that they were involved in prior to being in Congress. Like, for example, if you're in Congress right now and it comes out you committed a bank robbery before you were in Congress, they can't censure you for it. That's prior to being in Congress. But what Adam Schiff has been doing with this disgusting committee, with this kangaroo court and star chamber that he had going on in the Chamber of Secrets and this embarrassment and all these things, he did that while in Congress. So I'd like Republicans to start talking with some of their experts. Can Adam Schiff be censured by the next Congress if it's led by Republicans for things he is doing now? I don't know. I'd like people to find out about that and discuss it. Let's turn the narrative on them. All right, hey, listen, 1 hour's down. We've got 2 to go. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's Kane with a K, K-A-N-E, and the number 1, 888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. We'll be right back.
is WWNN Pompano Beach and 95.3 FM W237BD Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
People put off the medical care they need for a lot of reasons.
Steve Kane
My
Show.
deductible is too high. I don't have insurance. My schedule is too...
Hey, John, hold on.
I just can't afford it. The time for excuses is over. Thanks to Any Lab Test Now of Plantation, where they guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. PSA, only $34. Full cholesterol lipid panel, $28. Complete thyroid panel, $49. Diabetic A1C test, only $27. No doctor's order or prescription needed. All testing is always anonymous and confidential. In and out in 15 minutes or less. Most results in 24 to 48 hours. Make sure to ask about their allergy testing, which includes micronutrient and environmental allergens, and vitamin deficiency test, drug testing, you name it. Any Lab Test Now at Plantation, probably test for it. Any Lab Test Now at Plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise Boulevard in the Jacaranda Plaza on the corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Give them a call, 954-916-1072. 954-916-1072. Online, labtestingplantation.com. Take control of your health with Any Lab Test Now of Plantation. 954-916-1072.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, mom and dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at The Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523-4325. This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325. If your loved one refuses treatment, The Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option, from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a licensed therapist, as well as group therapy treatment. It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, The Edge Recovery has options for you. Call Sal at The Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone, 561-523-4325.
Seniors, open enrollment is here. I Will Advisors is here to offer you an unbiased comparison of all your Medicare health insurance options. I Will Advisors specialize in educating Medicare beneficiaries on every available option to ensure you make the right choice for your needs. Call us directly at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
The Steve Kane Show. Days and overnights, midnight till 6 a.m., 7 nights a week. To call the show.
All right. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. It is Monday, November 25th, Thanksgiving week. We are here live, 1 hour down. Now only 1 hour and 55 minutes to go. We touched on a lot of crazy things in the first hour, but let me just go to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Yes, hi, good morning, Brian. This is John. I'm calling from Wellington, Florida.
Oh, hey, what's up?
How are you?
I'm okay.
2 points. Good, glad to hear it. 2 points. The so-called cult expert that you were discussing in the last hour, he says that conservatives don't think for themselves, and yet leftists are the ones that won't allow you to go into a liberal college and say anything that's contrary to their leftist beliefs. And he also said that Trump lies. He's a liar. That's part of what makes him a cultist. Well, I've got to tell you and everybody else in your audience, the lowest unemployment in 50 years, lower taxes, a great economy, record-breaking stock market, and a stronger military are not lies.
No, you're right. I mean, look at what happened during the last campaign when Hillary, one of the Democrats, said all lives matter, and they booed him off stage. Remember that? All lives don't matter. Only black lives matter. Yeah, you're right. If you want to talk about intolerance, that's where you go. But CNN, I mean, they've lost. They're in a depression and in a state of denial that they can no longer influence elections in the American people. Yeah. No doubt about it. I'm looking for an article. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm a little distracted. There was an article I'm looking for, and I lost this morning. I'll find it before the end. Well, yeah, you're right. But they've lost everything. They've been going after this guy, whether it was Skanky Daniels or, the impeachment recently, and everything in between. They have lost it. And now there's also, I believe, some fake news coming out about the Inspector General's report. Steve was telling me on Fox yesterday, Chris Wallace was talking about how the Inspector General's report is going to clear Comey and all of these people, and it'll say that it was not a partisan effort against Trump. That, I believe, comes from the New York Times, is where Fox News and Chris Wallace got that story. And Comey had a relationship while FBI director and after with the New York Times. That's where he leaked information to. So, I don't buy anything that is going on. They are going down. The Inspector General's report is coming out on the 9th, and then we're going to have Durham and Barr's indictments coming. The chickens are coming home to roost.
Hope so.
All right. Yeah. All right. Take care. All right. Conservative Doug, you're on the radio.
Good morning. You talk about brainwashing cults. I talked to two Jewish liberals, and I said, let me ask you a question. Now that Bloomberg is in investment, $150 million of his own money, are you switching from Joe Biden? No. You're not going to switch from Joe Biden. I said, why would you want to go to? Well, he stutters. He used to stutter, and that's why he has this problem with talking. I said, man, you don't see all mistakes he makes.
Doug, your call. I'll talk about Bloomberg in a second, but it just popped in my brain. Every call you make is about a discussion you have with liberal friends. Why? No, and I'm serious. I don't have a lot of liberal friends. Now, why do you think I don't have? It's all you socialize with. Why do you think? Well, I don't have acquaintances that are. Why do you think I don't have friends or acquaintances that are liberal? Why do you think that is?
Well, because unfortunately. Why is that? That's because you don't have to deal with them. I play paddleball at Ballard College.
No, it's not that. I live in Florida, in South Florida, a lot of liberals here. But I don't have friends or acquaintances who are liberal and hate Trump. And there's two reasons why. One, it surprises me how many of my friends and family members who in the past have been Democrats and didn't like Republicans love Donald Trump. So Donald Trump's won a lot of people over that used to be Democrats. That's number one. But the reason that I'm not friends or acquaintances with liberals is because what do liberals support? Right? Open borders to destroy our country, abortion on demand. My wife and I had a friend, I mentioned this on the air before a long time ago. We had a friend of my wife's who was very good friends, and we socialized, came to our house, went to her house, and her teenage daughter in high school got pregnant, and she took her to have an abortion in the 5th month. In the 5th month. Yeah, and this family was well-to-do. They had money and a lot of money, and there was no reason to do. In the fifth month, and we stopped being friends with them. It was, I mean, when my wife told me that, I had a, even now, kind of like a physical sickness feeling inside. I mean, that's pretty disgusting. So, people that are liberal are people that have a worldview and support disgusting immoralities that I don't even want to think about. So, how can I be friends with people that support disgusting things like that?
Well, we basically, when we meet, it's about three of us who are Republicans and about three or four
Hey, Linda.
liberals. And it's kind of like a debate going back and forth, the yelling, screaming debate sometimes, and we argue as much as we can, and then we forget it and we play a game. But it's just amazing how weird these people are. Believe me, if I didn't have to talk to them, I wouldn't like to talk to them. But it's interesting to see how brainwashed they are. How about this one? One more thing.
Yeah.
So I said, don't you think that eventually there's going to be, unfortunately, there'll be a Democrat president, and if there's a Republican Congress, do you not think we're going to try to impeach them? Oh, no, you guys won't do that.
Yeah.
Play to be fair. Democrats play to win.
Well, I'll tell you this, though. Your liberal friends, all right, you say you meet them at the paddleball courts. Paddleball is so out. I mean, if they're playing, if paddleball used to be a big thing, like in the 70s. So if you have liberal friends that are playing paddleball, the good news is that they're old timers. They're not young people. And yeah, I know. And for people to think, oh, thanks, Beverly. And for people to think the way that they think, being that age, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So there's no, they can't have the awakening that so many other Democrats have because they're so old that they're still playing paddleball.
Yeah, you're right.
Do when you're not playing paddleball, do you guys play backgammon together? What else do you guys do? Do you have fondue parties with these people? What other things from the 7? All right, appreciate the call. You're on the radio. Good morning. Thanks for that super chat.
Hey, this is Mike.
Hey, Mike in Louisiana.
In terms of the censure, a possible censure, do you remember the old Popeye cartoons and Wimpy? What did he always try and do? Can I pay you on Friday for a hamburger I get today? Can they censor next Congress for something he's doing in this Congress? My thing is maybe, possibly, but that's what we're playing with there. And as far as what the last call just said about the kind of tit for tat with them doing it to that. Remember what they did with remember how they got burned by what Harry Reid did with the judges,
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, Mike, appreciate the call. Not much to say there, but at least an effort. Just I'll say something about Bloomberg because this thing with Bloomberg is spectacular. And this is not my original thought. I heard someone do a passing reference to what I'm about to tell you on Fox News early this morning when I was at home doing my show prep at like 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. I had it on in the background. So I don't know who said it, but Bloomberg's a big problem for the Democrats and a big help to Donald Trump, especially if he wins the nomination, because the Democrats are basically running on a communist ticket. I know they say democratic socialist because, they don't want to say what they are, but they're running on this communist ticket where money is evil, the rich people are bad, and they have someone running now, Bloomberg, who's wealthier than Donald Trump, okay? So that's a major conflict for the Democrats and their base. The base, in a primary, what you're catering to in a primary are the activist base of either party. So the activist base of the Democrats hate wealthy people. And I know Elizabeth Warren's a millionaire, Bernie Sanders are millionaires, and others are millionaires, but they're low. That's a millionaire is like, poor white trash compared to billionaires, especially one as wealthy as Bloomberg. So Bloomberg is big trouble for the Democrats, not us. Big trouble for the Democrats because it splits their base, and it splits it up pretty hardcore. And actually, Bloomberg winning the nomination would actually be a good thing, I think. All right, good morning. You're on the radio.
Morning.
Hey, Nick in Baltimore. How's it going?
Guy, I call him a soda jerk.
Hmm.
His dictator type policies with, all the...
Well, an example of him being a dictator is how he managed to be mayor past the term limits for that third term. That's an example of him being a dictator. He found a way around term limits.
Right. And do we want somebody like that in office? You know, the other thing I wanted to mention that no one's talking about is that you see what the media is doing over the weekend? See how they're trying to cause a rift between Giuliani and Trump?
Oh, yeah.
You know, saying how, Giuliani's got evidence in case he gets thrown under the bus and all that. That's all, they're putting out all these stories. The media does this all the time, and they've been doing this all throughout Trump's term. This is really...
Yeah.
About CNN, they're crazy over there.
They've lost their minds. Yeah. Yeah, Trump's using mind control over us? Come on.
Ridiculous. If anything, Obama's the one who had mind control.
No doubt about that.
Yeah. Talk about a cult.
By the way, I'm curious, how's that climate change, global warming working in Baltimore right now? It's a little chilly here in Florida.
It's cold up here today.
Yeah, you could use some global warming probably. Yeah, I could use a little bit this morning too. It's chilly outside. I'm wearing short sleeves. I should have gone back inside and got some warmer clothes, but why spend money? Why spend money on warm clothes? Because in 11 years it's going to be so hot we won't need any of these clothes. It seems not to be a very good investment.
Well, we're running out of time, aren't we?
We are, yeah. In fact, this year, at some point, AOC is going to have to lower the years. She started with, we have 11 years, so it's got to be 10 years left now. Because she's been there for a year. Yeah, it's got to be 10, AOC. All right, Nick, thanks for the call. All right, take care. That's Nick in Baltimore. All right, we'll take a break and be right back. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633.
An article I wanted to read, and I can't find it now. Be right back.
And tell them Lori Kane sent you.
The Medicare open enrollment period is here. Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080, 954-753-8080, and allow her to educate and guide you through the many plans, choices, and cost considerations. I Will Advisors represents all major insurance companies, not just a single carrier, to make sure you choose the best option for you. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Hi, this is Dr. Mitchell Matez from the Boca Raton Center for Age Management. I've cared for Stephen Bryan in an anti-aging capacity for the last decade. However, I want to make sure that everybody understands hormone therapy is not just for men, but is for women also. In fact, we have one of my women patients here with us right now today. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Doc.
Donna, tell us, what are some of the symptoms you had when you first came to see me?
Well, I was going through menopause, and I had night sweats. I wasn't sleeping through the night, hot flashes, mood swings. My skin felt like sandpaper. I had my hair falling out by the handfuls.
Oh, boy, I tell you, these
down
people.
all the time. I was moody, and the worst thing of all was my sex drive.
And how do you feel today?
I feel amazing. I'm 52. and I feel like I'm 25 again.
And I can tell you've also lost some weight since we first met. How has this affected your weight control and your sex life and other issues of that?
Well, I've lost 50 pounds, and my sex life is better than it's ever been. It's amazing, and I have skin like I'm 25 again. I sleep like a baby. My hair is not falling out anymore. I'm happy all the time. There's no more mood swings, and I just feel like a kid again.
As you can see, hormone pellet therapy is great for women also. It reverses your menopause, controls your weight, improves your sex life, and a whole host of other benefits. If you want to get these benefits, call me as soon as you can at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management at 561-953-5490. That's 561-953-5490. Or visit us at our website, hormonetherapybocaraton.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. So CNN has lost their mind because they can no longer influence elections and the electorate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They lost impeachment. They're losing it. They're losing their minds. And in the first hour, I played a bit of a clip of Brian Stelter interviewing someone who wrote a book on cults, who was once in a cult. And Brian Stelter and his guest said that. Well, let me play the. Let me play this again because it's so insane. Listen to this. Brian Stelter yesterday, CNN.
Cult has been popping up more and more. Think back to 2 weeks ago on this program, Anthony Scaramucci talked about his claim that Trump supporters are in a cult. Just last week, Dan Rather said he thinks support for Trump seems increasingly cultish. And this weekend in the Washington Post, Trump critic and Republican strategist John Weaver said the GOP is not a party anymore in the traditional sense, it's a cult. None of them are mental health experts. Stephen Hassan is. He's out with a brand new book called The Cult of Trump. He has firsthand experience escaping the Unification Church back in the 70s, and he's decided to write this book because he believes there's something seriously wrong with our politics.
So I define a destructive cult as an authoritarian pyramid-structured group with someone at the top who claims to have total power and total wisdom that uses deception and control of behavior.
Oh, yes.
And emotions to make people loyal and dependent and obedient followers. So for me,
Now keep in mind, as I said earlier, he's saying this is a destructive cult. There are non-destructive cults he doesn't give any examples of, but we're in a destructive cult as opposed to non-destructive cults, which I did not know there was any such thing.
So for me, the
oh, thanks, Karen. Yeah, it is nice. Thanks.
An ethical, healthy cult where you're free to think and.
Oh, there's ethical cult. What? Can you give an example of a cult that is ethical? Anybody?
To leave versus a destructive cult. I'm referring to Trump's organization and followership as a destructive cult, where people are being fed propaganda and they're not being encouraged to think for themselves. They're not being encouraged to really explore and look at the details and arrive at their own conclusion. Much of what they're hearing is emotionally driven.
Now listen to what Stelter comes in with here. This is my favorite part, coming up right now.
Type cliches like fake
Heaven's
news,
Gate, yeah.
or build the wall, or make America great again.
You say the president is using mind control.
That's a real question. You say the president is using mind control? That's Brian Stelter of CNN. Oh my! Tell me Brian Stelter hasn't lost his mind. He's using mind control on us. It's a superpower. He learned it when he was young. This is insanity. What's going on with the left? Complete, utter insanity. They've lost their minds because they've lost their power. They've lost their influence. This is great. This is a great time. This is a great time, people. This, President Trump said we're going to be tired of winning, sick of winning. We're winning so many different ways right now, and you can hear it right here. And when they talk about mind control in the cult, what's brought this on right now is since they've lost impeachment, the president is not going to be impeached. They've lost impeachment, and they've just totally, that's been the final because they thought this was going to be. If you remember last Monday, tomorrow, Sondland, it's going to be it. Sondland's coming in. It's going to be over. It was on Drudge. It was everywhere. Sondland clears him. They all clear him. So now what they're trying to figure out is with all of the lies and slanders that they've been putting on TV for years now, why do we still support Trump? And of course, that's because he has the power of mind control. Yes, many superheroes have powers. Some can fly. Some have the powers of invisibility. Some have the powers of super speed. But President Trump's superpower is the power of mind control. And that's why CNN has not been able to turn us against him. And now, Katie Hill, Katie Hill, who I thought resigned from Congress, she was on CNN in Washington. Is she still officially in Congress? I guess she is. And she was on CNN. Katie Hill, she's the one who was having an affair with a female campaign worker in some three-way sex thing with her, I guess, husband. This is Katie Hill with Brian Stelter. Listen.
Do people understand about what it's like to see these websites publishing intimate photos, or what it's like?
Thanks for that
to
super
be
chat.
attacked on Fox News. There's multiple
Appreciate
layers
that.
here, but what do people know about that experience?
I think it's one of the darkest things that you can experience, and I think that this is what we have to think about is that this isn't just happening to me.
Oh, Mark
right?
Dice
This
is great.
happening to girls and women across the country, and that's why we see. And I was asked about this all the time on the campaign trail by.
Doesn't she have a deep voice? So I guess in the relationship, she's the masculine one. I'm surprised. She has a very deep voice, Katie Hill.
Trail by really young, teenagers and girls who are, who experience cyberbullying in different capacities. And who are saying that
cyberbullying.
This is what are you going to do about this, right? And we don't have an answer for that. So we need to figure out that fight. But you also see it as a tactic that is constantly used by the right. Look at what they're doing to the witnesses on the impeachment inquiry. Look at what they're doing to, to try to silence anybody who speaks out in a way that they don't like.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's Katie Hill with a very deep voice. I've never really heard her talk before. Maybe it is genetic. I don't know. Question with Katie Hill is this. Do liberal women truly want equality? Right? Do liberal women truly want equality? I mean, look what happened to her. She's a married woman involved in an affair with a female campaign staffer. Okay? And it went public. And photos went public. And the talk went public. And she resigned from Congress. And maybe she did it prematurely, but she resigned from Congress. Does Katie Hill and other liberal women want equality? Because if they want equality, things played out as they should with her. Because imagine if a Republican man was having an affair with a younger female staffer. And there were photographs of them hugging and kissing, and was it a hotel room? And stories of three-way sex with the wife came out. Would CNN and the media and the Twitter be saying that this Republican man who's having an affair with a younger woman who's a campaign worker or a staffer is involved in three-way sex with their spouse, they should remain in Congress? Or would they be pushing to get them out of Congress? And I really don't think liberals want equality. What they want are a lot of things that they can use as weapons against conservatives. We saw this with Bill Clinton during his impeachment. Bill Clinton was touching women, being accused of sexual assault, physical assault, and all kinds of craziness. And with Monica Lewinsky, the things that were going on, you can't even talk about in front of children what Bill Clinton was doing in the Oval Office while he was talking to foreign leaders and in the study and all of these things. And, what we learned then was that when the feminist organizations, like the National Organization for Women and other feminist organizations, were supporting Bill Clinton, well, that's between him and his wife, these extramarital affairs and these assaults and all this stuff. What we learned was that the left, in particular feminist, never thought any of these rules, regulations, laws, and societal norms that they pushed on us would be used against them. They thought they were just weapons to use against conservatives, against Republicans. And they don't like it when they're caught up in their own rhetoric. And in the era of Me Too, a sitting member of Congress should not be involved in three-way sex between their spouse and a younger female campaign worker. Katie Hill wasn't treated any differently than, well, she got off a little easy, but she wasn't treated any differently than any Republican would have been treated. Republican would have been treated harsher, but she was run out of Congress. And you know, if it was even a female Republican, if it, you know, this new young girl that we're hearing about, the Republican girl from New York, if we found out she was involved in a three-way sex affair with a female campaign worker and her husband, and we had never heard of Katie Hill, you don't think that the liberals on CNN and MSNBC and everywhere else would want her out of Congress? Of course they would. So it's a joke to hear Brian Stelter and others act as if Katie Hill is some kind of victim. Katie Hill is being held to the same standard Democrats and feminists have been holding Republicans to. So the real question to Katie Hill is, do you want equality or not? Do you want to be treated equally as a man, or do you want special treatment? Because you were being treated equally as a man in the same position in Congress. Oh, man, I tell you, these people. Now, I got to tell you this, here we are. Thanksgiving is on Thursday, and of course, Black Friday begins at midnight this week. And I've been telling you for a while, and you really want to do what I am telling you, and that is make this a My Pillow Christmas for you, your family, and everyone on your gift-giving list, including if you have office parties. If you have office Christmas parties and you do that Secret Santa thing at your work, make it a My Pillow Christmas party. They will be so happy that you gave them a My Pillow or a My Pillow product for Christmas. I'm telling you, and there's incredible specials going on right now at MyPillow.com. Of course, the buy one My Pillow, get one free offer when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E at checkout is an amazing one, the BOGO offer. The Giza Cotton My Pillow sheets, I have these, they are spectacular. And with the My Pillow Giza Dream Sheets, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, you buy one set of sheets, you get a second one for free and free shipping. So you can do a couple things with that. You can either have two Christmas gifts out of that, give two different people on your gift-giving list a set of My Pillow Giza Dream Sheets. And let me tell you about these Giza Dream Sheets. They are spectacular. And no matter what the temperature is, these sheets are the right temperature. Never too hot, never too cold, always just right. It's like the Goldilocks of sheets. Buy one, get one free plus free shipping on the Giza Dream Sheets. The My Pillow towel set, normally $109.99. When you use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, just $76.99. I know, it's absolutely amazing. The mattress topper, you've seen the mattress topper. When you use the promo code KANE at checkout, save 30% off the mattress topper. The pet beds, now this is a great deal. When you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, you can get a My Pillow pet bed for just $19.99. But you've got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. And the My Pillow pet bed is a great gift for your pets, your dogs, your cats. My dog and my cats love our My Pillow pet bed. So, you know, we always give a gift to our dogs and cats at Christmas. I know a lot of you do too. If you don't, you should. They really do appreciate it. And they know. They know. Your pets know. Great gift to get your pets is that My Pillow pet bed, or as a Christmas gift to someone on your gift-giving list that has a dog or a cat, you can get that My Pillow pet bed just $19.99 when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Also at MyPillow.com, on the My Pillow mattress, which Steve bought for his daughter, save up to $400 off the My Pillow mattress when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. And all the My Pillow products, including the mattress, come packaged in a way that are easy to wrap, and the person who's receiving the gift would never guess it's a mattress. They would never guess it's a dog bed. They would never guess it's a My Pillow or the Giza Dream Sheets. So they'll be very surprised and very pleasantly surprised. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. When you order by phone, make sure to use the promo code KANE at checkout on the phone as well, and at MyPillow.com, K-A-N-E, and make it a My Pillow Christmas. I'm Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
This is
Adrienne Kane. It's Christmas time, and what better gift to give than the gift of a good night's sleep with a MyPillow pillow top mattress. Dad gave me one as a gift, and I'm so glad he did. I was talking to Dad, and I was telling him I wasn't sleeping at night. I was tossing and turning all night long. I had an old, worn-out, lumpy, bumpy mattress that was so uncomfortable, I wasn't getting any sleep. A couple of days later, there was a knock at the door, and it was a MyPillow mattress. I slept on it that night, and ever since I've been sleeping the whole night through. No more tossing, no more turning, and when my alarm goes off in the morning, I'm up and ready to go and well rested. Give your kids, grandkids, spouse, or yourself the gift of a good night's sleep with a MyPillow mattress. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. When you use the promo code KANE, you can save up to $300 off your MyPillow mattress. They come in all sizes, from twin to California king, and every size in between. Go to mypillow.com and be sure to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Order yours today. It's worth its weight in restful sleep. And Merry Christmas from the whole Kane family.
Well, this is Steve Kane, and I'm here with William Youngerman from William Youngerman Inc., trading in, I guess they call it scrap gold. In other words, if people have old jewelry that's been passed on to them, stuff they don't use, what's the best way to handle the scrap jewelry?
There's a lot going on right now in this area because of the attention gold is getting and the higher price that it's at. People advertising, come to parties, all kinds of mail it in to sell your scrap. The only reason to ever sell gold, as far as I'm concerned, is when you have one, either a better place for the money, you're not wearing it, you're not using it, or if you have it in a form such as scrap or pieces of broken chain and everything else that have no easily understandable value attached to them. So what we're recommending people to do is, one, get rid of things that you don't wear and enjoy. Gold is an investment even if you're wearing it on your neck and you're enjoying it. If you're not, then take it and then trade it in. If you don't need the money for something else, trade the gold scrap in for something that's an identifiable, easily recognizable, tradable form of gold, which would be something like a 1 ounce gold bar or a half-ounce gold coin or some equal amount of gold, so that you're not just taking dollars that you're going to spend and waste somewhere, but you're actually converting that scrap gold into something that is easily tradable, and that all you have to do is look at the television or look at the paper to find out the price of gold or listen to our reports, and you know that if you have 2 ounces of gold, it's worth X number of dollars. The next thing is to know that who you're dealing with when you're trading it in. Get a couple of offers on it. Don't just go to these to mail it in and take your chances. You do your homework, you'll get the most for your gold, and then you'll be able to get a form of gold that's easily recognizable and tradable, and it is an insurance policy for you.
A good place to go is William Youngerman Inc. at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. That's in the Bank America building. You can call William at 1-800-327-5010 or go to the website at williamyoungerman.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
People, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All righty. We're back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. It's Thanksgiving week. We will be off on Thanksgiving, but it'll have a great best of for you. So CNN, they've just totally, since the impeachment fell apart on them over these last 2 weeks, they've totally lost it. Now, Brian Stelter in particular, I mean, he's not in control. And I guess Project Veritas hasn't helped either. It's been a bad month for CNN. Project Veritas and then this Schiff hearing falling apart. They can't get a win over there at CNN. And a lot of fake news going on about the president's trip to Walter Reed. I want to play this exchange. They brought in, Brian Stelter brought in Sanjay Gupta. And this is some really, this is just disgusting stuff. Now, of course, last week the president went to Walter Reed for something, part of a physical, and they say it was unscheduled. I don't know that it was really unscheduled. Maybe it wasn't on the official schedule that the media get, but he went. And he went, he was there shortly, with physical, came back. He talked about this on TV last week, President Trump. He went to Walter Reed. He came back. Melania, the first lady, was very worried and upset. She says, "Are you okay? I just saw on CNN that you may have had a heart attack." And he's, "No, I went over there to start my physical." They had Melania worried. Fake news, fake news. And if the president's trip to Walter Reed was unscheduled, my guess would be is that since he is the first truly working president we've had maybe ever, at least in a long time, that he doesn't have time to just schedule appointments like this, and he had an opening in his schedule, and he went over there while he had some free time because he's so busy working. And this was all settled last week. President, he came out and talked about it. So Brian Stelter, though, wants to promote that something's wrong with the president, possibly cast doubt, brainwash, get a narrative going. So they bring in Sanjay Gupta, the medical correspondent for CNN, with a very irresponsible and disgusting fake news segment. This is it. Listen.
Not just for the president, but for his aides as well. That's why there's been so much speculation about the unusual trip Trump took to Walter Reed last weekend. Trump says he went for a very routine physical because he had extra time. But does it all add up? Neurosurgeon and CNN chief medical correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta has been following up on this. He's spoken to several doctors who previously worked at the White House or are currently in touch with the White House to try to find out what's going on. And his new story has just been published on CNN.com. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, what is the new reporting?
Well, first of all, as a starting point, anytime a 73-year-old man with clinical obesity and a history of heart disease goes to the hospital unannounced, obviously medical people are going to ask why, what prompted that. And keep in mind, the president going to the hospital is a big deal, no matter what. There's lots of things that need to happen at the hospital. Corridors get closed, we've learned.
Now, see, this is disgusting. Lots of things have to happen. No, if you're a high security person and you do something that's unscheduled, it doesn't take as much security. For example, these politicians that use private aircraft or government aircraft like Nancy Pelosi, right? Even the vice president, they don't need private military aircraft. They just need to not announce where they're going all the time and when exactly, and they show up and buy a ticket right there at the gate. You don't need the same security because no one knows you're going. So if you are the president and you take an unscheduled trip to Walter Reed, it doesn't require all of these security procedures a planned trip would have, because since no one knows you're coming, the bad guys don't know either. You understand what I mean? But anyway, back to really using Sanjay Gupta in some terrible ways on CNN. Thanks, Nick, for that super chat. Thanks, guys.
We've learned certain roads get closed. That's why an institution-wide notice goes out.
Unbelievable.
It didn't happen here. So that was a bit unusual.
Not really.
What we subsequently heard that the president had done at Walter Reed after going through this whole process of getting to the hospital were basic laboratory tests primarily that could have been done at the White House. So
Now, how does he know this? They've not released all his medical records. He got a clean bill of health and a letter. He even got a doctor's note, the president. Okay? Who knows? Maybe he got some special tests done that he didn't want you to know about that could not have been. You don't know that it could have been done at the White House. And you know what? Maybe he doesn't want to do things with the doctor at the White House, since look what they did to his doctor. His last doctor, the admiral, came out, gave him a clean bill of health, announced it to the media, and they've destroyed that admiral's career, coming up with phony fake news stories. Remember that? Over at CNN and the liberal media, they can't stand when the president... He got a note from his doctor last week, and still, that's not good enough for them.
At the White House. So those are important points. We see video of when the president is leaving the White House. We see Dr. Sean Conley getting into the vehicle with him. That's important. Doctors that I talked to said in their entire time as White House physicians, they never rode with the president. That's a security concern. And yet you see the doctor riding with the president on the...
See, now Sanjay Gupta is not just a medical expert, he's also a security expert. It's interesting. Maybe he's been going to night school, on one of those things you'd see on TV, learn to be private security and a private detective. Maybe that's what he's doing.
Riding with the president on the way to Walter Reed this past Saturday, so 8 days ago now. We don't know what to make of that.
We do know what to make for him. The president's doctor gave him a doctor's note, gave him a clean bill of health, and the president said he went over there to do the start of a physical. That's it. And I got to tell you, as I listen to Sanjay Gupta, he's very uncomfortable with this. You know, I've got respect for Sanjay Gupta. He was embedded with the troops in Operation Iraqi Freedom. Remember this for CNN? And he actually performed brain surgery on an Iraqi girl in a tent in the battlefield over there. So I got respect for him. He's a lib, but I got respect for Sanjay Gupta. Although Gupta did turn down, Obama offered Sanjay Gupta to be the Surgeon General of the United States, and he turned it down. You know, which is pretty amazing. But, you know, you can hear how uncomfortable he is because, you know, he may be a liberal jerk, Sanjay Gupta, you know, but when it comes to his medical credentials, those are important to him. And he's moved into the area of being a quack at this point. Let me get back to it. Diagnosing without seeing records, the patient, nothing. Thanks, Laura. Appreciate those super chat, guys. Thank you.
We know what Sean Conley released after we asked questions in terms of his own explanation of things. And what he spent time doing in this memo that he released was basically saying, here are the things the president didn't have done as opposed to what he did have done. So these are all sort of just question marks. I will say one thing, Brian. President Trump seems to have gotten in and out of the hospital within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. You know, if it were something more serious or something requiring more intensive care, it seems like it would have been longer.
Well, boom. So at the end, Sanjay Gupta, who his medical credentials are being exploited, just like they do the global warming scientists, right? They take these climatologists with their advanced degrees and PhDs and all these things, doctors of this, that, and other things, and they use their credentials to give credibility to their liberal narrative. And they're attempting to do that with Sanjay Gupta. And it's almost like a hostage video, Sanjay Gupta. And he doesn't want his medical credentials to be completely discredited on CNN. So at the end, he comes back and says, well, he was only there a short time. It was something serious, you know. And you can hear, let's hear when Sanjay Gupta says he was there such a short time, it couldn't be something serious. Let's see if Brian Stelter is excited that our president has been given a clean bill of health by CNN medical correspondent Sanjay Gupta.
These are all sort of just question marks. I will say one thing, Brian. President Trump seems to have gotten in and out of the hospital within a couple of hours. Yeah. That's a good thing. You know, if it were something more serious or something requiring more intensive care, it seems like it would have been longer.
Right, and certainly he's been on camera since then. No outward issues, but
no outward issues. He's been on camera, but
no outward issues. But because of this administration's lack of credibility.
If anyone's lacking credibility, it's CNN with this entire segment, which was in the same program that they were talking about the president using mind control. Maybe Brian Stelter, he was in Walter Reed so that he could have his mind-controlling abilities checked. Maybe he was losing a little bit of his superpower of mind control that you were talking about in your previous segment. Oh, my gosh. This is CNN, people. Oh, man. In fact, the president is winning so much. The Democrats are losing so badly. Even Saturday Night Live had to attack pretty much all the mainstream Democrats on the weekend, which you know they hate doing. They hate doing it. That was not an easy decision for Laura Michaels to make. All right, let's take our last break of the second hour. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
With diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Sole Authority. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics.
Be right back.
You're probably not aware.
Thanks for the super check.
As a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable.
Steve Kane Show. Hey, hold on.
at 954-597-7060
hilarious.
or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Steve Kane Show. Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the rematch of the praise fight of the century. In this corner, the reigning 5-time champ, Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 for SCT. And in this corner, challengers from every other manufacturer. The challengers come out swinging, but Toyota of Hollywood delivers a crushing blow by selling Toyotas at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 Camry SE, not $28,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $21,000, $12,775. Buy any new Toyota and we'll make your payments for 12 months. At Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, Mom and Dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523-4325. This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325. If your loved one refuses treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option, from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a licensed therapist, as well as group therapy treatment. It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for you. Call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone, 561-523-4325.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWE.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Oh, boy. On the radio since 1977. Let's go to the phones. PJ, you're on the radio.
Yeah, hey, you were talking about Colts earlier. I got to thinking, wasn't Fredo Como's a radio stunt flop a result of being in a Trump derangement syndrome cult? Because any normal person would have at least tested it out ahead of time to see if you could hear somebody on the other end of a phone that's on a speakerphone. He didn't even do that because he automatically assumed that if Trump says something, it must be wrong.
Yeah, Fredo. I think Fredo's in the cult of Jim and roids is what it looks like to me, with his mood swings and everything.
In fact, just now, as I was on hold and I was hearing your show, but I held my phone about 2 feet from me, and I could hear stuff, but I couldn't actually hear what was actually being said. So I was thinking, that made me realize just how ridiculous it was that his stunt was.
Yeah, calling his mom, that was so strange, so pathetic and strange, and he did it on live TV. It was very uncomfortable to watch.
Response to it, or his retweet of the parody of it, was absolutely...
Well, Fredo Cuomo's problem is he has a lot of insecurities. He feels inferior to his brother, the governor, who's walking in his father's footsteps. And he knows that the only reason he's on CNN is not because of any talent. It's because his last name is Cuomo and his father and brother are connected, and he feels inadequate.
By the way, speaking of his brother must be really mad at Fredo because he involved their mother in a stunt that...
Oh, yeah.
Hilariously. That must be...
It was pretty bad. You know, I was thinking about Fredo Cuomo. Last night, before bed, I was watching In the Kitchen with David yesterday with my wife on QVC, and they had this thing. They were selling these new Amazon Alexas that have the visuals on them, and the guy that was on there pitching them with David Venable was calling his mom and doing and showing how easy it is for his elderly mother to use this device. She was at home in her kitchen, and all I could think of was Fredo Cuomo and the call to his mom. All right, PJ, thanks for the call. Richie, the bus driver, you're on the radio.
Good morning. You know, that last segment, Brian Seltzer, or whatever his name is, I wouldn't even watch that station anymore. With the you know, we all know how the Trump presidency is not credible. I mean, listen, I watched these hearings for these most boring hearings, okay?
Awesome.
And then I watched
2 sets of what? Of those
yesterday in his opening statement.
Alexas?
And I swear to God, I wanted to watch
I know.
the same thing I was watching.
I got one too.
They have twisted everything.
I got one too.
That's all they do is twist.
As a Christmas gift.
It's to the point now where, listen, they must be really embarrassed, these people. When Trump was running, you remember how they were making fun of him, saying he was like a jerk? And
Yeah, yeah.
laughing. They had these round tables. They were all joking and laughing.
Yeah. Yeah. People are coming out to see the celebrity, not to see a candidate and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when he was, there's no way in hell he's going to get elected. And then when they got elected, they're on TV crying like
Yeah.
couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
There's something going on in this country, and it's gone on so many years already. I have never seen any. I've seen Obama when Obama got elected that we were 100% against Obama, but we didn't go and disrupt businesses and bust up city streets over him.
Yeah.
Well, we're stuck with this guy for the next 4 to 8 years. We have to do the best we can. That was the American way. But no longer, these people, I mean, when they get a communist, Bernie Sanders, a communist, there's no way around him not being a commie, as one of the leading candidates for president of the United States, what's happened to the...
Exactly. Exactly. That's right. Well, we're asking it. Well, you're asking it, Richie. You're asking it. Hey, Richie, I got to run, but thanks for the call. Richie, the bus driver there. Oh, you know, I got to tell you, we are welcoming today 2 new sponsors to the Steve Kane Show. And, of course, you will be hearing much more about them as the days, weeks, months, and even years go on. But we're welcoming 2 new sponsors this week to the Steve Kane radio show. One we mentioned briefly before the Steve Kane cruise, and that's Dr. Nathan from the Nathan Clinic of Plastic Surgery. You know, Steve had to go in for a bit of a tune-up before the cruise, and Steve went over to see Dr. Nathan for just Botox. And in the live stream on YouTube, Steve came in the day after his Botox, and the viewers on the YouTube live stream immediately took notice of how much younger Steve looked after just one Botox visit with Dr. Nathan, because, you know, Dr. Nathan's a medical doctor. He does everything over there. He does facelifts, tummy tucks, those mommy makeovers after a woman gives birth, breast, you know, everything. He does everything. But he also does Botox and all the fillers that are connected in that area of cosmetic surgery. And he is such a highly skilled expert when it comes to plastic surgery and fillers. I've seen people have Botox before. I've never seen people have it with the dramatic effect that Steve did after just one day. And that's because of Dr. Nathan at the Nathan Clinic. And he's listed at stevekaneshow.com. His number, he has offices in Broward and Dade. So the number that we give out for Dr. Nathan's a 305 in Dade County. Remember when we were 305 in Broward? We give a 305 because it rings to his Miami office, but he does have a Broward office as well. So call Dr. Nathan for all of your cosmetic surgery needs, also your filler needs, Botox, Juvederm, and the rest. 305-530-8880. 305-530-8880, listed at stevekaneshow.com. And also this week, we're welcoming as an advertiser on the Steve Kane Show, board-certified dermatologist Dr. Jose Mendez. Now, Dr. Mendez is absolutely amazing. Steve went in last week for a full-body cancer screening and had some things removed that have been sent out, and we've not yet received the results, but we are sure to receive them very soon. But, you know, skin cancer, I did not know this. Do you know skin cancer is the most common form of cancer, especially here in Florida? And every Floridian truly needs to have a full body skin exam annually. And that's where Dr. Jose Mendez comes in. He's a board-certified dermatologist, and actually his office in Broward is literally right next door to Dr. Nathan. And yeah, I know, right next door. And Dr. Mendez takes Medicare. Medicare actually covers the cancer screening, and he takes virtually every insurance. They told me that they take pretty much everything, but there could always be some outlier, but they take virtually every insurance, including Medicare. So we're also welcoming Dr. Jose Mendez, board-certified dermatologist, to the Steve Kane Show. He's also listed at stevekaneshow.com. His number, 954-431-7681. 954-431-7681. So we want to welcome Dr. Nathan and Dr. Mendez this week as the newest advertisers and sponsors of the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere for the third and final hour right now.
Talk 1470 is WWNN Pompano Beach and 95.3 FM W237BD Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
People put off the medical care they need for a lot of reasons. My deductible is too high. I don't have insurance. My schedule is too hectic. I just can't afford it. The time for excuses is over. Thanks to Any Lab Test Now of Plantation, where they guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. PSA, only $34. Full cholesterol lipid panel, $28. Complete thyroid panel, $49. Diabetic A1C test, only $27. No doctor's order or prescription needed. All testing is always anonymous and confidential. In and out in 15 minutes or less. Most results in 24 to 48 hours. Make sure to ask about their allergy testing, which includes micronutrient and environmental allergens, and vitamin deficiency test, drug testing, you name it. Any Lab Test Now at Plantation, probably test for it. Any Lab Test Now at Plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise Boulevard in the Jacaranda Plaza on the corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Give them a call, 954-916-1072. 954-916-1072. Online, labtestingplantation.com. Take control of your health with Any Lab Test Now of Plantation. 954-916-1072.
This is Adrienne Kane. It's Christmas time, and what better gift to give than the gift of a good night's sleep with a MyPillow pillow top mattress. Dad gave me one as a gift, and I'm so glad he did. I was talking to Dad, and I was telling him I wasn't sleeping at night. I was tossing and turning all night long. I had an old, worn-out, lumpy, bumpy mattress that was so uncomfortable, I wasn't getting any sleep. A couple of days later, there was a knock at the door, and it was a MyPillow.
Be right back, guys.
That night, and ever since I've been sleeping the whole night through. No more tossing, no more turning, and when my alarm goes off in the morning, I'm up and ready to go and well rested. Give your kids, grandkids, spouse, or yourself the gift of a good night's sleep with a MyPillow mattress. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. When you use the promo code KANE, you can save up to $300 off your MyPillow mattress. They come in all sizes, from twin to California King, and every size in between. Go to mypillow.com and be sure to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Order yours today. It's worth its weight in restful sleep. And Merry Christmas from the whole Kane family.
This is Steve Kane with an incredible special from our friends at Brighton Dental. 8 Emax veneers at Brighton Dental, just $49.99. All the other dentists in town charge $10,000 for the exact same veneers. 10 Emax veneers, $59.99 at Brighton Dental. These are the very same veneers that other dentists in town are charging $12,000 for. Get the Hollywood smile you have always dreamed of. Call Brighton Dental at 954-922-4633.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
The Steve Kane Show is live in Morning Drive, 6 till 9 a.m. weekdays, and overnights, midnight till 6 a.m., 7 nights a week. To call the show toll free, 1...
All right, 6 minutes after the hour, third and final hour has begun. I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Welcome back, one and all. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's Kane with a K, K-A-N-E, and the number 1. 888-465-2631. We've been talking about a lot of things today. CNN losing their minds. Okay, Elizabeth Warren caught in another lie. You know, you would think after you were busted lying about your ethnicity your entire adult life, and you're busted on such a large scale, you would stop lying, especially not do it live with cameras running. And Elizabeth Warren was caught lying about her kids attending private school. She's talking to a black woman about charter schools. And this lady is talking about how charter schools are helping her kids, other kids, kids in the black community, et cetera, et cetera. Elizabeth Warren is arguing against charter schools because she is such a strong supporter of public schools. No, I didn't slip, because she is a supporter of private schools big time. She's such a this is the public narrative. The public narrative, as opposed to her fake life, is that she's a strong supporter of public education. That's why she opposes charter schools. And the lady points out that her kids, Elizabeth Warren's kids, went to private school. Here it is, Elizabeth Warren lying to this lady with cameras rolling.
We don't have the same choice that you make for your kids, because I read that your children went to private school. No, my children went to public school.
No, my kids went to public school. Okay, now, I'll play the rest of this exchange. Now, here's what happened. Apparently, her son went to public school for a couple of years, and then around 5th grade, it's a little foggy because Elizabeth Warren's been lying, so the exact time frame's a little foggy, but around 5th or 6th grade, she moved him into private school, a private school that had an annual tuition of $17,000 a year, and that's $17,000 a year back in 87, 88. So $17,000 a year is a lot of money now, but it was really a lot of money back in the 80s, right? And it's very interesting, how did this public servant who was an educator afford a $17,000 a year private school education? I don't know. But anyway, let's let Elizabeth Warren tell her lies a little bit more.
We don't have the same choice that you make for your kids, because I read that your children went to private school. No, my children went to public school. But
lie!
Even if it was public school, it probably was the best public school. I can't pack up and say I'm leaving Hyde Park and going to Germantown. That's our suburban area.
Okay, so is this Chicago, Hyde Park and all this? I don't know. So here you've got a black woman who is pleading with Elizabeth Warren. The schools here are not good. Even if your kids went to public school, you're in a better neighborhood. I can't afford to move to a better neighborhood with better schools. Charter schools are the only option my kids have to get a decent education. And you're against charter schools, Elizabeth Warren. This is a great conversation. You hypocrite, liar.
We don't have the same choice that you make for your kids, because I read that your children went to private school. No, my children went to public school. But even if it was public school, it probably was the best public school. I can't pack up and say I'm leaving Hyde Park and going to Germantown. That's our suburban area, because I can't afford it. My daughter can't afford it.
See, they're not multimillionaires like you. By the way, Elizabeth Warren, back in the 80s when you were an educator, how did you afford $17,000 a year tuition? Oh, you lied. You say your kids went to public school and they were in private. I'm sorry.
Afford it. So we want to make what we got great, whether it's charter or tradition. And really, Schools are charter in where I come from, and we make parents know that charter schools are public schools too.
So let me just say, I appreciate nothing more than how much you care about your children and your grandchildren and getting them educated.
Yeah, I appreciate how much you care about your kids and grandkids getting an education, but I don't care. They need to stay in that failing inner city school. No private education like my kids, no charter school. Your kids need to stay in that terrible high crime school with poor facilities where they're receiving a terrible education, okay? That's just their life. You were born here. You were born into this low-income area, and your kids are stuck here. I'm sorry. I'm Elizabeth Warren.
Charter in where I come from, and we make parents know that charter schools are public schools too.
So let me just say, I appreciate nothing more than how much you care about your children and your grandchildren and getting them educated. And that's all I want to do. If I don't have the pieces right, then I'll go back and read it.
Go back and read it,
I'll go
please.
back and read it.
And I promise you, next time you see me, if it's reading the way, it's gonna benefit our children.
I'm not making promises, I'll go back and read it. I'm
Go
gonna make
read it,
sure I
but
got it
just
right.
read it.
That's it.
Okay, and of course, she begins with a lie, Elizabeth Warren, and then ends, well, there's lies in between, but she ended with a lie too. Perfect bookend. She said she's going to read this charter school legislation. She's going to read it, and she's going to reconsider, but she's actually going to read. Does anyone believe Elizabeth Warren's going to read the charter school legislation that this... I mean, this is sad. How much play is this getting on CNN? How much play is this getting on MS-13BC? You know, here you have a black mother and grandmother, okay? She's actually a mother of children. I don't want you to think I'm calling her something derogatory. She's a black mother and a black grandmother who's begging and pleading with Democrat Elizabeth Warren to support charter schools so that her kids and grandkids and other kids from the community have an opportunity in life and go to a decent school. And Elizabeth Warren is saying, screw you, just vote for me, okay? We got the black vote. You know, we're Democrats. Just vote for us. Don't ask questions, and just, we're looking out for you, but just vote. And your kids, since you were born in this terrible town, and, you know, you didn't go to Harvard, you didn't go to Yale, you didn't go to Oxford, you didn't go to Columbia, they're screwed and stuck. You're the lower class. Just vote for us, okay? The D's now on the ballot. This exchange should be the headline news story on every television news network. It should be the front page of every newspaper. One, because she's a presidential candidate and she lied again. Lied about her Indian heritage. Now she's lying about this. Her kid going to private school, 17 grand a year. Okay? And you have a black woman who is begging her, pleading with her to help by supporting charter schools. And Elizabeth Warren basically tells her, you know, that's it. Your kids are stuck. No hope for your kids. You know, that's very dramatic stuff. It's very, very dramatic stuff. And it's not going to see the light of day outside of Fox News. If CNN is forced to deal with it and MSNBC are embarrassed to deal with it, they'll explain it away. Well, her kids actually went to public school up until 5th grade, and then she moved them, so she wasn't lying. No, she was lying. She was implying something that was inaccurate. And why did you take your kids out of that public school? Why'd you take your kid out of the public school in the 5th grade, Elizabeth Warren? Because the public schools where you lived sucked? Or were there too many minorities there? I don't know. I'd like to know why Elizabeth Warren. Don't you think that's a good question? Her son went to public school until about 5th grade, and then she took him out and put him in this $17,000 a year private school. And again, that's $17,000 in the 80s. So it's a lot of money. It's over $20,000 a year now. I don't know what the exact amount would be. I could Google it, I guess, but I don't care to. You know, what was it about that public school that you took your kid out of it? And why do you want this grandmother to have her grandkids in these poor-performing, high-crime public schools when you took your kid out? Does she want her kids into the charter school and out of this one for the same reason that you took your kid out of public school, Elizabeth? There's all kinds of questions here to ask, and none of them will be asked. Because the media, it's all fake news. If it was real news, they would deal with that. When Trump says fake news, it means a lot of things. Part of what he means are stories like that. Here you have, you know, a story handed to the mainstream media to really get some hardcore headlines, some investigative journalism, put a presidential candidate on the spot, and none of them will run with it because they're not there to put Democrats on the spot, only Republicans. Unless it's Tulsi Gabbard, who they want to destroy because she's making them look bad. Oh, boy. All right, 15 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for a Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Hi, this is Dr. Mitchell Matez from the Boca Raton Center for Age Management.
Yeah, see what's going on.
I've cared for Stephen Bryan in an anti-aging
Okay,
capacity
all right.
for the last decade. However, I want to make sure that everybody understands hormone therapy is not just for men, but it's for women also. In fact, we have one of my women patients here with us right now today. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Doc.
Donna, tell us, what are some of the symptoms you had when you first came to see me?
Well, I was going through menopause, and I had night sweats. I wasn't sleeping through the night, hot flashes, mood swings. My skin felt like sandpaper. I had my hair falling out by the handfuls, and I was tired, run down all the time. I was moody, and the worst thing of all was my sex drive.
And how do you feel today?
I feel amazing. I'm 52, and I feel like I'm 25 again.
And I can tell you've also lost some weight since we first met. How has this affected your weight control and your sex life and other issues of that?
Well, I've lost 50 pounds, and my sex life is better than it's ever been. It's amazing, and I have skin like I'm 25 again. I sleep like a baby. My hair is not falling out anymore. I'm happy all the time. There's no more mood swings, and I just feel like a kid again.
As you can see, hormone pellet therapy is great for women also. It reverses your menopause, controls your weight, improves your sex life, and a whole host of other benefits. If you want to get these benefits, call me as soon as you can at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management at 561-953-5490. That's 561-953-5490. Or visit us at our website, hormonetherapybocaraton.com.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to one pair of...
Oh, boy. Make sure you all subscribe on
inserts. Call the sole
YouTube.
authority today, 954-597-7060.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for...
All right. Oh, yes. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I'm not too into movies. I used to be. I used to be really into it. I'm not really into movies too much, unless a Star Wars or Star Trek movies. Like next month, the new Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker, I'll be out there. But I'm really not into movies. But there's a new movie coming next month that you all need to see, and it's not just the Richard Jewell movie, okay? December's a big month for movies. We've got this final Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker, of course, which is going to be terrible, but this Richard Jewell movie from Clint Eastwood I've been talking about, which is going to be phenomenal, about the fake news media, about the birth of the fake news media, cable culture, and how they destroy the life of Richard Jewell. And then there's another movie that's a bit of a sleeper that you will definitely want to see. It's going to be in select theaters and on demand, and it's called Hell on the Border. Hell on the Border. Google this movie. It releases December 13th in some theaters and on demand. Hell on the Border tells the true story that, the media don't want you to know about. It tells the true story of an individual that you don't read about in history books all that often because it doesn't fit the liberal narrative. It tells the story of Bass Reeves. Any of you guys know who Bass Reeves was? He was the first black U.S. Marshal back in the Wild Wild West days. And they made an entire movie about Bass Reeves, the first black U.S. Marshal from the Old West. And the reason that no one's heard of Bass Reeves is because there's a liberal narrative, right? Blacks were oppressed. Blacks were, this was this is their history, not our history, his story. Remember Michael Jackson started that? So this movie about Bass Reeves, the first black U.S. Marshal in the Old West, I saw the trailer for it, and it looks spectacular. It's going to be in some theaters and on demand December 13th, and it's just a coincidence. This is just a coincidence. I did not even know this until after I heard about the movie. But the guy that produced it is someone that I know, an acquaintance of mine, and a friend of a friend, and I actually have associated with the producer of this movie, who also acts in it too. But he's a very good actor, been in a lot of stuff. He's a character actor that none of you have heard of. But Bass Reeves, the first black U.S. Marshal back in the old Wild Wild West days, and no one ever knows of him because it doesn't. The narrative is blacks didn't have a role then. It was racism, discrimination, even after the slaves were freed, and for a black man to become a federal marshal back in that era is absolutely amazing. And he was like one of the more feared marshals because he was running around arresting people all the time. It's a very good movie. It's called Hell on the Border. Look for it. And they may do something on Fox about this movie, but you're not going to hear too much about it. Again, I've only seen the trailer. The movie comes out next month. The trailer looks spectacular. In fact, when I saw the trailer, I was very surprised at how well done the movie is, because I know they did it on a shoestring budget because Hollywood doesn't want to promote anyone other than an oppressed black person from that era in American history. So it's a pretty good one. Also, a photograph has come out of Joy Behar from The View. And, Joy Behar on her high horse with her nose up in the air, a comedian who never have you ever heard Joy Behar tell a joke? She's supposedly a comedian, and she's supposed to be the comic relief on The View, and she's the nastiest one in the whole coven. But, they have a photograph of her years ago in blackface. You've seen that? Right? A black, and she says, well, that was my real hair, the one she made it look like an afro, but she was wearing dark makeup and on her. She put makeup on to make herself look black, and it's blackface, and of course sitting there with Whoopi Goldberg, who took Ted Danson to the Friars Roast in blackface. You got two people that have hardcore blackface in their past, and they're on this thing. Well, Joy Behar, when Don Jr. was on and the week before, she's obsessed with when President Trump talked about in Hollywood, the women are such skanky hoes that if you are a celebrity, these sleazy women of Hollywood will let you grab them by the pee if you want. He didn't say that he did it. He said the women in Hollywood are so low class that they'll let a famous guy do it. And Joy Behar references this pretty much every episode. Donald Trump never did that, at least not to anyone who didn't want him to. I'm sure Melania, it's happened, But you know what I mean. And Joy Behar references this, grab them in the pee all the time. Well, a photograph has surfaced of Joy Behar, and it's a group photo from Comic Relief. Remember Comic Relief? And this photograph, Comic Relief, for those that don't know, before I describe the photograph, Comic Relief was put together when Robin Williams, Whoopi Goldberg, and Billy Crystal were big stars. They were the A-list comedians. And they put together Comic Relief to raise money to combat homelessness in America. And it was very successful for a few years. And there's a photograph of Joy Behar with Billy Crystal and Whoopi Goldberg and Robin Williams. And in this photograph, Joy Behar is laughing, Whoopi is laughing, Robin Williams is looking up in disbelief. Billy, I put this on Twitter, on my Twitter, by the way. You can go to my Twitter and see it. Billy Crystal is looking in shock, Joy Behar, smiling ear to ear, has her right hand grabbing Robin Williams in his pee, the penis. And she has grabbed Robin Williams' penis. She has her entire hand around it, holding it. Now he's clothed, but she grabbed him there and she's holding on to it. She's laughing, and Whoopi Goldberg is laughing too. It looks like Whoopi Goldberg's laughing so hard she's got her hand on her chest like she's about to break a rib. So, Joy Behar, who references at least 3 times a week this Donald Trump comment about grabbing women in the pee, no photographs of that, but there's now been a photograph uncovered, just came out, it's 30 years ago, but hey, what's 30 years, right? Of Joy Behar actually grabbing Robin Williams in the pee and holding on to his penis and laughing while she's doing it as Whoopi's laughing. And this is worse than Al Franken, because Al Franken didn't even make contact with that woman in that photograph.
And it was just breast.
Yeah, well, she didn't make contact, though. He
No,
was
right.
he was several inches away. She actually has Robin Williams' pee in her hand. She's grabbing it, and Robin doesn't look happy. And, Robin Williams had a sad ending. I don't know if this was the beginning of a road that led him to depression, being touched in such an inappropriate way by Joy Behar or not. But certainly this photograph is Joy Behar doing what she attacks Trump for saying that he never did to Billy Bush in that Access Hollywood tape. And, this is another example from Rules for Radicals. Accuse your opponent of doing what you're doing. So, Joy Behar grabbing Robin Williams in the pee here, I wonder how many other men she did that to. She's doing this in such a comfortable way. It seems kind of like a regular looking thing for her. Yeah, this isn't something you just do once and do it and think it's funny and so casually. I don't know.
It's incredible hypocrites. In fact,
yeah.
Just a little addendum to the story you told about
which one?
Charter schools.
Oh, well, with Elizabeth Warren. Oh, my goodness.
Warren. The thing that makes that doubly horrible is the reason that Elizabeth Warren is not supportive of the charter schools is because of the teachers' union.
That's right. So it's for money. She's a sellout.
That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
It's not even, if it's
yeah.
so your kids can get a better education or something, that's more understandable.
Yeah.
It's just she doesn't want to lose the votes.
And Elizabeth Warren telling this black grandmother, well, sorry, you should have had your kids and grandkids in a nicer neighborhood and they would have an opportunity in life. Unbelievable.
The grandmother speak.
She's begging.
The child's raised in a home with that grandmother, and she's not going to speak very good English anyway, because she was almost unintelligible.
Well, that's because they're forced into these public schools, and I guess Hyde Park is Chicago, isn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, so there you have it, Democrat Chicago. This poor woman and Elizabeth Warren on video. What a sociopath. Elizabeth Warren, the cameras are rolling, and she still doesn't seem to have any empathy at all. Now, before we break, I got to tell you, I just put this up last night. My wife edited this yesterday. This is at SteveKaneShow.com and all of our social media pages, okay? Those of you that were on the Steve Kane cruise, you probably noticed I had a video camera with me everywhere we went. And I had my GoPro Hero 7 Black. And in fact, when we were at the Mayan ruins in Costa Maya, one of the listeners came out and said, Brian, does that camera ever leave your hand? And I said, and I was like, no. Well, my wife edited all the video together and put together an incredible video of our Steve Kane cruise to the Cayman Islands, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. It's about 12 minutes long. And I'd like to ask you to watch the whole thing because my wife spent a lot of time doing this, and it is a spectacular video. Okay, and it's all 6 days put into 12 minutes of the Steve Kane cruise. And, of course, those of you that went on the cruise, you'll want to see it to relive these great times. But if you have not been on a Steve Kane cruise with us, you should go and watch this video. I think you'll be surprised at how much fun we have and all the things that we do. It's a lot of fun. So you can go watch the video. It's at SteveKaneShow.com. It's on all of our social media pages, my social media pages, Steve's social media pages, and on my YouTube channel. I just uploaded the video last night, and my wife spent a lot of time doing the editing. It was to take 6 days. You know how many hours of video I had? Oh, my goodness. I had so much video. And to take to take a week worth of video and condense it into 12 minutes. It takes a lot of work. Just put a lot of time into it, and it's really, really good. I think you'll enjoy it. And after you watch it, let me know what you think. You can either leave a comment on the video, on social media, or call us on the air. And again, if you've never been on one of our Steve Kane cruises, you want to go and watch this video. You'll be blown away. Because, you hear us talking about the cruises all the time, but since you haven't been, you haven't experienced it, you don't really get to see it. And you'll see it on this. And you'll probably be saying, man, why haven't I gone? Well, you have an opportunity because we got another one coming up next year on the Celebrity Edge, which we'll talk about in the future. But you might want to call Ian, though, because Black Friday, Celebrity Cruises does run Black Friday specials. There may be some, I don't know, but there may be some specials on our next cruise for Black Friday. Call Ian. All right, we'll take our break, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
People put off the medical care they need for a lot of reasons. My deductible is too high. I don't have insurance. My schedule is too tight. I just can't afford it. The time for excuses is over.
Well, what happened that I missed while I've been on? What's been going on since I've been on the air? Anything new?
No, from yesterday.
I've been here since 6 going over all this stuff. That's the copy for those spots.
Diabetic A1C test, only $27. No doctor's order or prescription needed. All testing is always anonymous and confidential. In and out in 15 minutes or less. Most results in 24 to 48 hours. Make sure to ask about your allergy testing, which includes the micronutrient and environmental allergies and vitamin deficiency test. Drug testing, you name it. Any lab test now or plantation, probably test for it. Any lab test now or plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise Boulevard in the Jacaranda Plaza on the corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Give them a call, 954-916-1072. 954-916-1072. Online, labtestingplantation.com. Take control of your health with any lab test now of Plantation. 954-916-1072.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
Is this good?
This is Adrian.
I think so. We'll
It's
see when we
Christmas
come on.
time, and what better gift to give than the gift of a good night's sleep with a MyPillow pillow top mattress? Dad gave me one as a gift, and I'm so glad he did. I was talking to Dad, and I was telling him I wasn't sleeping at night. I was tossing and turning all night long. I had an old, worn-out, lumpy, bumpy mattress that was so uncomfortable. I wasn't getting any sleep. A couple of days later, there was a knock at the door, and it was a MyPillow mattress. I slept on it that night, and ever since I've been sleeping the whole night through. No more tossing, no more turning, and when my alarm goes off in the morning, I'm up and ready to go and well rested. Give your kids, grandkids, spouse, or yourself the gift of a good night's sleep with a MyPillow mattress. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. When you use the promo code KANE, you can save up to $300 off your MyPillow mattress. They come in all sizes, from twin to California King, and every size in between. Go to mypillow.com and be sure to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Order yours today. It's worth its weight in restful sleep. And Merry Christmas from the whole Kane family.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with Attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
Oh yeah, make this a MyPillow Christmas with MyPillow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's so many deals there. Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
I like how Trump got fired, that Navy secretary.
No nonsense. Tossed him right out.
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why America loves Donald Trump.
I know.
He's decisive. He doesn't shilly-shally around. He doesn't drag things out. You get with the program, you're out on your butt.
I know. I think that's so exciting. It really is. I mean, look, I haven't seen something like that happen so fast.
What do you see happening in the next couple of weeks? This is going to be big.
With what? The impeachment?
Are they going to move ahead with the impeachment?
No, the impeachment's over. It's done. He's not going to be impeached. It's done. They've already been foreshadowing this on the media. Yeah, I'll play you a couple clips. There's two things. One, I told you this started Friday. On Friday, the cable news started saying, well, you know, the Democrats are talking about making a deal with Trump to just censure him to avoid impeachment. So they're already walking away from that. And then I played this clip early in the show. I'll play it again. CNN had this girl writer from the Washington Post on, you know, liberal, talking about impeachment. And it's over. Listen to what she says here.
I think what we're starting to see is, you know, when the impeachment inquiry was first announced and they started to do these depositions, a lot of people were asking, can Nancy Pelosi peel off any Republicans? And I think in this final impeachment vote, but I think increasingly the question is becoming, does she lose more Democrats? Because Republicans have really sort of unified behind the president. And although 2 Democrats voted against the impeachment inquiry rules that they voted on a couple weeks ago, you know, we are hearing behind the scenes there are more moderates who are getting cold feet. And it all comes back to these ads and people being afraid of being punished for voting to impeach the president.
Okay, so
It all comes down to the fact that
they don't have the votes.
Now Biden's dirty laundry is coming out.
That's right.
And that's going to be the focus of any trial that comes on from this point
Yeah.
on.
That's right.
They don't want to face the music.
They don't have the votes, and she's blaming the moderates. You know, she's blaming the moderates, but it's not what it.
You said there's no chance.
None.
In your opinion,
Zero.
Zero
There,
chance.
you can tell, and the media are already preparing their sycophant viewers for it. Oh well, they're talking to him about censure and
Well,
the
yeah, but
moderates.
Look, that could mean 2 things. It could mean that they're just trying to soften the blow.
They're softening the blow of it not happening.
If it doesn't, but that doesn't mean that they're not prepared to fight to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, the hardcore ones especially.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're
No.
gonna look pretty bad.
No. They're preparing their viewers on CNN for the impeachment. He's not going to be impeached now, and they're preparing their viewers for that fact. So what they're trying to do is set a narrative that he should have been impeached, but he's not because of these Trump-supporting moderate fake Democrats. They're trying to set a narrative that way. They don't have the votes. It's over. All of Schiff's witnesses clear Trump.
Well, I hope you're right. I mean,
You can hear them. That's CNN and Washington Post. They're preparing the audience for it to happen that way.
that's one possibility. The other thing is they're, covering their butts just in case.
No.
Which is different than
No, they've stopped pushing for it. They've stopped pushing for it because they don't have the votes, and the witnesses all cleared them.
Did you by any chance see Greg, what's his name, show this week?
Gutfeld, no.
Greg Gutfeld?
Mm-mm.
It was spectacular. I've never really liked the show. I don't really dig his humor too much. But they did everything was on Schiff. It was like a whole show on Schiff.
Yeah.
And not only Schiff, but focusing in on the Schiff's flatulence incident that he had.
Oh, that wasn't Schiff. That was I forgot the name. I played it on the air the other day.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah.
It's the guy from California.
Yeah, I forgot his name offhand now. Yeah, the one that farted on Chris Matthews.
Yeah.
And then said it was a coffee cup being moved across the table.
But anyway, it was great set. But they kind of mixed Schiff in with that too.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did that.
I heard Schiff on CNN yesterday, and I've got no clips of Schiff because I can't stand listening to him. And I can't listen to him to get the clips. I just can't stand him. Swalwell, Eric Swalwell. Yeah, the farter. Eric's flatulence, the congressman from the district of flatulence. But this was an interesting interview because they're worried. They're worried on CNN. So CNN is preparing their viewers for no impeachment. Yeah, and he was being interviewed by Jake Tapper, Schiff, and he was really pressing Schiff on whether or not he would testify in front of a Senate hearing if he was called to testify, and he would not say no. He said, well, I don't know what I have to add. I just listened to the witnesses like everyone, which is not true. He conspired. But when I hear CNN pushing Schiff about testifying in front of a Senate committee, There's a big change coming on. There's a big change.
No, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. What a pig.
Oh, Schiff, he's the worst.
Oh, God.
He's the worst.
But he's very imitatable, and the Gutfeld crew has they have a couple of guys that do takeovers on Schiff.
Yeah.
That are a riot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guys.
Well, and you had that fake news story that the Inspector General's report is going to clear Comey and the rest. Fake news.
You say fake news?
Yeah. Well, you got it from Chris Wallace, who hates Trump, right? He's a creep.
Yes.
And he got it from the New York Times. And the New York Times was working with Comey. That's who Comey was leaking things to when he was FBI director. So the newspaper that Comey was colluding with and giving them classified information illegally said that he's going to be cleared. Please, that's not a credible news story. It's not a credible source on Comey, the New York Times. They have an interest in protecting Comey, the New York Times. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to protect Comey.
Well, they had me fooled, I'll tell you.
Oh, because Chris Matthews or
My hands. Well, I didn't
Chris Wallace hates Trump. The New York Times hates Trump, and they love Comey.
Chris Wallace is what a disappointment he is.
He's the worst.
Yeah.
He's my least favorite person on Fox. It used to be Shepard Smith, but since he's gone now, I can't blame Shepard.
Ridicule.
Well, he's the only one left. I mean, Shepard Smith is gone, so he was number 2. But it's come on. You can't take the New York Times. The New York Times is who he leaked all his information to, Comey.
What have you seen in the polls?
I don't follow the polls. That's your thing, not mine.
No, this is a thing that's going to be decided by the polls.
No, the polls are all fake. The polls are all fake. But the only thing I've heard about the polls is that independents are against impeachment.
Yes, I've heard that.
So I've heard that, but I don't follow them. The polls are all fake.
I've heard that the whole thing is going down in flames.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Well, you can tell just by watching CNN. When I heard, it was Chris Wallace is the first person I heard say this I don't remember if it was Thursday or Friday last week. Chris Wallace said, well, there's talk of the Democrats in the House talking to President Trump about accepting a censure so he can avoid impeachment. So that's the Democrats looking for a way out. A censure.
Accepting a censure?
Yeah. Like making a deal. Like making a deal. Well, if you don't fight us on impeachment, we won't impeach you, but we want to censure you. And he says, okay. So when I heard...
He says, okay, you see Trump saying, okay,
never.
Censure me?
No.
Never in a million
No, but when I
years.
hear Chris Wallace and the Democrats talking, and I heard him talking about it over the weekend again.
But what doesn't make sense to me is that they need Trump's permission to censure him.
No, they don't. Yeah, they don't. But they're trying to, we'll make this go away. Yeah, right. No, when they're trying to work out a deal with Trump, there's not going to be an impeachment.
I don't think Trump wants it to go away.
I think you're wrong.
You think
he doesn't want a trial in the Senate? No. That's the never Trumpers Republicans talking that hate Trump. Yes, let's have the trial. We'll get it all out in the open, please.
You don't think Trump would like to get
No.
stuff about Biden out in the open?
Not for him to have a trial in the Senate, which would be about him, not Biden, he has to be impeached. They can't have the trial unless he's impeached in the House. He doesn't want to be impeached. That's crazy.
No, but you said this would be instead of...
No. They can't have the trial without impeaching him first. A censure is just like a reprimand. Like they vote on a reprimand in the House of him.
Why do they need his permission to do that?
Because they've lost and they have no credibility, and their denial and Trump derangement syndrome, they think he would go along with that.
Our number 1-888-GO KANE 1, KANE spelled KANE, 1-888 KANE and the number 1. We'll be back with your calls after this.
We'll reimburse payments up to a total of $1,800 based on purchase and MSRP on approved credit. Excludes tax, tag time, includes $8.99 dealer fee. Offer ends 12/31/19.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the rematch of the praise fight of the century. In this corner, the reigning 5-time champ, Toyota of Hollywood, the number 1 volume Toyota dealer.
Steve Kane Show. Okay.
Come out swinging, but Toyota of Hollywood delivers a crushing blow by selling Toyotas at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
April 2019 Camry SE, not 28,000, 17,775. April 2019 Corolla LE, not 21,000, 12,775. Buy any new Toyota and we'll make your payments for 12 months.
So let's
Toyota
clear it up. So
Hollywood, on 441 between
they
Hollywood
go
Boulevard and
to
Sherman
ask his
Street.
permission to
Open
censure
till
him, and he
midnight.
says no.
Yeah,
And what happens then?
exactly.
What happens?
Nothing. That's how they've lost.
Of all your Medicare health insurance options, I Will Advisors specialize in educating Medicare beneficiaries on every available option.
Hey there.
to
Oh,
ensure
what's
you
your
get the right choice
Thanksgiving
for your
schedule?
needs.
Okay.
Call us directly at 954.
Okay. All right. Great. Hold on.
954 753 8080.
Is that?
Youngerman.
Oh.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Sole Authority. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Sole Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, now the moment you all wait for each day on the Steve Kane Show, our most popular feature, and that is, of course, the Gold Report, brought to you by William Youngerman of William Youngerman, Inc. William, of course, one of the leading experts in the world of precious metals. Anywhere in the country, actually even pretty much anywhere in the world. He knows his stuff. Those of you who have been fortunate enough to, or I should say smart enough to follow his advice through the 16 years he has been a sponsor of the Steve Kane Show, well, I don't have to tell you, you've done very well with it, and others out there, you ought to start thinking about it. Don't let all this excitement get by without you being part of it. William, how's it looking today?
Good, Steve, at giving us another buying opportunity as the gold moves towards the lower end of the trading ranges that we've seen, and maybe even lower. The markets closed out last week just on the low side of the trading range at of 1461.10 for gold, 1696 just under $17 for silver, $888 for platinum, and $1,754 for palladium. Gold this morning is under more pressure, down $5.60 at $1,455.50. Silver down 8 cents at $16.88. Support for silver is around $16.50. Platinum is the up metal right now, up $4 at $8.92, and palladium is up $24 at $17.78. Those two metals basically been in the same trading range for quite a while. Platinum was breaking out higher over the last couple of weeks and did get back up to about $925 this last week, but again under pressure slightly to stay under that $900 number. Gold has support, like I said, at around $1,445 or $47, which was the low that we saw in this rundown. If it takes that out, then we could be looking at a $1,420 number. Remains to be seen. Tax selling could also be entering into the markets pretty soon, so that could either put pressure on gold or give us a great buying opportunity. And that's pretty much where we are starting off this week, this morning, Steve.
Well, it looks like a great opportunity for those of you out there. By the way, with the Christmas holiday, something I want William to talk about a little bit this morning. You may be short on cash for the holidays, and of course, William has the answer to that because he is not only a seller of the precious metals, but he buys precious metals as well. If you have old jewelry that you're not using anymore, or silver sets, or candelabras, and whatever it is, if it's made of precious metals, William will turn it into cash for you. William, tell him how it works.
Certainly, if you've got precious metals or anything laying around the house in the way of gold, silver, or platinum products, or old currencies, or anything that's collectible, bring it on in. We'll be glad to turn it into cash for you. We also have beautiful estate jewelry. We just had one of the Steve KANE listeners come in Friday and bring back some of her jewelry that she wasn't wearing anymore and trade it in for something that she would like to wear. So if it's just not being used, you might as well get rid of it and take either the cash or turn it into something that you enjoy.
What's going to be your schedule over the holidays, William?
We will be closed Thursday and Friday.
Okay, well,
Wishing everybody a very happy Thanksgiving on those days.
that means today is a good day to drop by William Youngerman, located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. Now, that's the Bank of America building. You'll find William on the first floor, directly across the hallway from the bank on the first floor. You can reach him by phone from anywhere at 1-800-327-5010 or go to the website at williamyoungerman.com. William, a pleasure talking to you, and we will speak tomorrow, all right?
Okay, have a great day.
You too.
Oh, boy, yeah, so it's over for the Democrats. Trump just tweeted, he said this morning, just tweeted a little while ago, he said, in some polls, support for impeachment is down in the 20s. Wow. It's over. It's over. They've tried everything. Skanky Daniels, impeachment, the whole special prosecutor, everything. Everything. He's just beat them all.
Well, but you seem to think that your opinion is based on the assumption that these guys are operating in reality. This Trump.
You can tell if you watch what they're saying when they say on CNN, "Oh, these moderate Democrats, they're afraid." They're total setting the stage for not having impeachment. You can tell. You can tell. They wouldn't be talking that way. They wouldn't be talking about censure instead of impeachment if they had the votes. They do not have the votes. I don't know if they've got the votes to get to the next committee, because this is just an inquiry to go to judiciary, and I don't think these congressmen, these outside of Schiff's lunatic fringe, want to redo these embarrassing hearings with these witnesses, and there'll be more like the whistleblower in the next one.
Well, that's the problem for them. It's not the witnesses that will be testifying.
Yeah.
For the second round, it's those that are coming.
Well, to clear Trump again.
Exactly.
How many times are they going to clear Trump, these witnesses?
Yeah.
There was talk over the weekend that Vindman might have been the handler for the whistleblower. Because the whistleblower didn't work in the White House.
He might have been the whistleblower.
Well, they're saying, the way the story went is someone gave the whistleblower information from this thing, and he wasn't. I don't know, but this is one of the rumors out there that Vindman may be the source for the whistleblower. After he said he didn't know who the whistleblower is, And I was watching CNN over the weekend. Well, they're trying to discredit this war hero Purple Heart recipient.
What a creep.
And did you see Giuliani over the weekend? Oh my gosh, he said that he has. This is bizarre. He said that he has a whole bunch of information on Biden. Like he has these files, and if something happens to him, they'll be released. Did you see? Gee,
No, I did
yes,
not see that.
yes, and I saw Giuliani on Fox. He was talking about that. He said that, and then he says, "Let him indict me. He doesn't get, let them come after me." And he started talking about all kinds of Biden corruption that went back decades. Like there was Giuliani referenced this, that Biden's brother got some loans from Biden being in the Senate. He's got a whole career of corruption. And Biden has files detailing it.
This kind of corruption that we're looking at, knee-deep corruption, is not something you just do once. It's either the core of your personality and your character, or it's not.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling if he did it this time, he's done it before, and it probably won't be too hard.
Well, Giuliani has files filled with information on Biden, and he just and you know, the thing about something like that for these Democrats, you know, for Biden and his people, you know, they don't know what he has in the file, so their mind immediately goes to the most corrupt thing Biden's ever done, and wonder if that's in the
I don't
files.
think you have to go any further than this current.
Oh, I'm sure there's worse than that.
Explosion that they're doing. What, taking
Steve KANE show.
draft? I mean, my God. First of all, not only does he have to.
I'm sure that it goes far beyond that. And I just, this interview with Biden on Fox over the weekend was epic. You want to take some calls?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's go to Greg 2. You're on the radio.
Greg, what's up?
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good.
Listen, you know what, Brian, you're spot on with this. They're softening the blow for their their watching audience, CNN. They're trying to ensure that they don't get too disappointed when the impeachment is not successful.
It's a rerun of the last one. Remember the last time everything fell apart for them?
Yeah.
I guess it was Mueller, the Mueller fiasco.
Right, and you date back to even Hillary. Remember, Hillary's going to win. You know, she's doing this, and guess what? Their whole audience and their whole constituency was shattered. So they're softening the blow for them right now.
Their life is built on
Yeah, that's right.
on sad consequences. But that only slowed them down. With what's his name? With
Schiff?
who did you just mention? No, not Schiff.
Mueller?
Yeah, with Mueller, the eating humble pie only lasted about a day and a half, and they were back to being there.
Yeah, but they're really depressed now.
Arrogant, selfish.
With this failed impeachment hearing, they're really, you've heard it, Greg. They're totally, they're setting the stage for two things. Prepare their sycophant viewers and also try to spin it as really a win. It should have happened, but these Trump-supporting traitor Democrats won't vote for it.
And you know what? This is their last stance for Trump. You know, this is the last stance to get him out of office. It's going to fail. They tried other things. And guess what? Trump will be reelected.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm pleasantly surprised at the support for Trump. I mean, the moderates are for Trump. It's just these liberals.
He's won a lot of people over. There's no question.
Well, you know, there's a meme that I saw over the weekend. It's all over Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and it's Adam Schiff having a press conference announcing he's got something on Trump, and it says, I have evidence that Donald Trump removed a mattress tag in 1987. And once somebody becomes an object of ridicule like that, it's over.
Well, it is. It's over.
Steve
This
KANE
is their
show.
last chance to get him, and guess what? It's going to fail like they're up, and Trump will move forward. The economy's doing great. Do you feel the construction that's going on up
Oh, yeah. It's everywhere.
Florida? It's amazing.
Yeah. All right, Greg. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. All right, don't be a stranger. Speaking of ridicule, good morning.
Oh, I know who this is.
Let's give Trump a geographical lesson. He doesn't know that CrowdStrike is based in Sunnyvale, California.
Is this what you're telling yourself so you feel better that Trump's not going to get impeached? Is this your...
No doubt about that. That's a given. I mean, only delusional, Trump cult members that would believe he's not going to get impeached.
How much do you want to put on that? I don't usually do this, but
He has no money, Steve.
No, that's all right.
He has no money.
It'll be worth it to torture him for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
How much you want to put on this? How much you want to put on this, big mouth? This is dead air.
Dinner at Tavolino's? Now, Steve doesn't want to eat
I
with
don't
you.
wanna eat with you.
Oh, my goodness. We're out of time, Steve.
Come on. $20. Put your money where your mouth is, big shot. $20, no impeachment. All right, your silence speaks volumes. That does it for today. We thank you for joining us. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to be doing it all over again, starting at 6 a.m. Until then, I'm Steve KANE, along with Brian Craig. God bless Donald Trump.
All right, guys, on YouTube, make sure you watch that cruise video when I sign off here. I'm about to sign off. Subscribe and then go watch the cruise video, all right? All right, see you later.